All right, how y'all doing?
Good.
Hope y'all
Doing
doing
well.
well out there. Hope y'all doing good out there. We said 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Actually, it's 6:01, but we doing much better
Yeah, that part.
anyway. Yeah, we live. We live. We live. Hope y'all doing well tonight. We got some stuff to talk about
Don't
tonight.
we?
Oh, it's been a good week.
Good, good.
It's been a good week. I'm just trying to make sure we up all the way live here. All right. Do I see myself? Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. All right. Turn this volume down. So how y'all been? Scott, it's been 7 days since I last seen you. How you doing, brother?
All is well. Been busy, but thankfully the school building is empty, so we are just doing our summer work and no kids.
Well, there you go. Oh, they're officially out of school now, huh?
Oh yeah, our
Yeah,
kids have
that's
been
right.
out. Graduation for us was the 19th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Uh,
Well, good to see y'all on here. I guess these other people will be here shortly. I just want to go ahead and get moving on this. Been a great week. There's some stuff we gotta talk about here, and I'm gonna put this banner up so that way I can see what it is. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. Um, it's not on here tonight. I have a
Somebody just
couple of
sent a message. I'm not
conversations.
sure who that was, Kev.
Somebody sent the message. Okay, hold
On
on. Let me
text,
go.
yeah.
Somebody sent the text. Hold on. Oh, that was Chris. Yeah, we know
Okay.
Chris. You busy? We get it. We'll chop it up later on. But we were discussing this. We talk about various things, and I think I'm going to start the show off tonight with this question. Um, I just again had this conversation with a couple of colleagues and listening to past experiences and recent experiences that they've had, and we shared. All right, Tanya. Let me ask you a question. The gospel music realm, as it pertains to choirs, right?
hmm
Um, a lot of people know that I used to play with the Hawkins back in the day, with the Love Center Choir, and I played with James Hall. I played with Richard Smallwood. I've played with Ricky Dillard. I played with Donald Lawrence. Been around for some time in gospel, and the question came up today: should choir members pay to sing? In other words, should choir members be asked to travel everywhere and pay their own way?
So, I can answer that in part. If you are a well-known entity, and you are getting remuneration for anything that you're doing, I don't think that it's fair to tax the people. Or you could at least, if you're getting money, you should be able to subsidize the cost of travel.
Okay.
If you're not getting anything, then it's kind of like you volunteer. If you are able to go, listen, this is what the costs are going to be. What can we do? Now, also, will say as a choir leader, not just as a church choir, but as the choir, my recording choir, I do my absolute best to make sure I don't charge them for anything.
Hmm.
And if we have to go somewhere, like if it's a case of footing the bill, I do my best to foot the bill.
Hmm. Okay. Tracy, what you think?
I don't think they should have to pay. No.
Okay. Brother Avery. Been a long time there, brother.
Let everyone say praise the Lord. What's up,
Avery.
y'all? Yeah, I've been playing Bob the Builder over here, bro.
Well, it's a good thing you got somewhere to build. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. What's going on, Elliot? So the question was, Avery, should choir members, community choirs, particularly, should they pay to sing?
Community choirs.
Community choirs, traveling choirs, that kind of thing. Should they pay to be to go to travel? Should they pay to sing? Should they pay to
See,
the expenses of hotels and things like that? What do you
that's
think
a
about
tough
that?
question because choirs nowadays are not like they were back in the day. So what I mean by that is when you look at Milton Brunson, you look at Love Fellowship, when you look at Interfaith, when you look at all of these other choirs, these choirs were huge. Like everybody, you talking about 70 plus people in a choir, and they didn't mind, paying their way, getting on the bus. I mean, the only thing they didn't have to pay for was the bus.
Right.
But nowadays, with situations, what they call them traveling choirs. So in other words, you're not gonna get that same choir that you saw on that live recording. What they're
Right.
gonna do is you gonna bring 5 good sopranos, 5 good altos, 5 good tenors. It's going to be in the budget of what the honorarium is for that choir, and that's how they normally do it. So it's a little different versus how it was back in the day versus now. So I mean, I would think that it would be included in the honorarium if you only have like 3 soprano, 3 alto, 3 tenor, something like that. I mean, James Hall does that a lot. He has what, 3, 3, and 3. He be killing it. You don't need a whole like 75. So that's just
Yeah.
my input. It's just different how it was back in the day.
I think where a lot of people do not realize, and again, I mentioned earlier that I play for ensembles, I play for choirs, I play for mass choirs. Um, back in the day, people traveled on buses. So it was nothing for 55 people to get on a bus and drive 15 hours.
Mm-hmm.
8 hours up and down the freeway in the different counties in the
We
state,
ain't doing that
different
now.
states.
Exactly.
No, they won't do it. And I think what has happened is a lot of people have gotten hip to the fact that it'll be easier to fly. Whereas I'll be honest with you, flying is a lot more. It's a lot easier when it comes to the actual distance between the two places. But if anybody knows anything about traveling, traveling is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Going to an airport, going through TSA, going through finding out that the ticket that you had somebody paid for didn't pay for it, all
It's
kind of
true.
stuff. Getting to the gate, finding out your flight is canceled.
It's tricky.
It is.
It's a lot. It's a lot,
And
and a lot of people just don't get that. There's a lot that goes to that. Whereas on a bus, I hope he comes on tonight, but with a bus, you had a lot more leeway. I mean, at times it was
Especially for late arrivals.
late,
That's true.
late
And
arrivals.
honestly, I think it's more fun on the bus too because you get to gel and
Yeah, the camaraderie.
yeah,
Everybody
it's
gets
just
to
you
really,
just go. To me, it's more business wise as far as planes are concerned. But when it comes to gelling, I mean, honestly, look at what Ty Tribbett did, yo. They barely slept, yo. The musicians were always playing together, the singers are always together, and Ty and GA is like one of the dopest choirs that was ever out there in the world. Period. But it was just the anointing, but it was also the camaraderie of becoming not necessarily friends, but being comfortable with one another.
right.
Yeah, it was a lot easier in those days, and we did the same thing with Natalie Wilson and SOP
Mm-hmm.
back in the
Sure
day.
did.
You talk about, and I hope nobody takes offense to this, but I'm just gonna say what I want to say. You talk about some hood rats. You talk about some jokers. We was on that bus acting a plum fool, and it was nonstop. And it went from the leader down to the last
Yo,
tenor. Like we was just,
yo.
but I said all that to say that times were different. People don't want to ride on the bus for 12 hours no more.
Spoiled.
But
But
yeah,
it's
that's what I
yeah.
was gonna say. And
It's
everybody
And,
is this, I'm special, entitled, I'm the it, that type of thing.
but can I say this? It's really hard to be entitled when you ain't got what it takes for the entitlement. You know, I could say I'm special, but I'm real special when I know I could take my wallet out and pay for a flight.
Right.
And I'm not looking for you to do it. You know, the reality of it is that I'm to a point where if I'm going to fly, I mean, I fly all the time, but in actuality, the reality is that sometimes it might not be the flight; it's going to be the bus. I've been on tour buses before, traveling up and down the northern seaboard. I've been Southern California to Midwest to the South. And we had a good time. We had bunks and played cards. We watched movies. We would play certain games, whatever. We always did something to pass the time, but they were comfortable. Whereas now, a lot of people feel like if I ain't on no plane, I ain't going. But the
Right.
reality of it is that it's like we got to be honest with ourselves. It's hard to be big when little got you.
Right.
You
Right.
know, we can't afford what we demanding. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be very careful about that. But I always wanted to know because we talked about it today, and the truth is that I believe that a lot of the passion that we had back in the day
Yes,
is not
sir.
what it is
It's
now.
gone.
Absolutely.
We had there was such an excitement. I love playing so much that there were times when I didn't get paid for playing and I didn't care because I was around a bunch of people who wanted it just like I wanted it. They was excited about it. The morale was there. You just wanted to be there at that
And
point.
they were enjoyable people,
Yeah.
I'm sure, to
And
be
that,
around.
And
yeah,
bro,
absolutely.
A
like
lot of people.
when I sung with SOP, I was in the choir, bro, on those bus rides, yo. Do you look at the musicians that I was around, bro? Gerald, Jeff, and Joe. Like you don't get no better than that, bro. I
Right.
soaked that up, yo. That was the thing.
Yeah.
I was there for the choir, but I was actually there to learn
Right.
more about my craft and writing from Natalie. Natalie is a freaking genius with a
Yeah.
pen, bro. Like people sleep on her. Like she is a genius. So for
Yeah.
me to be around that, how could I not, take what I learned and just it's
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't about the
We had
money.
a lot of we had a lot of people um, who just didn't seize the moment. You know,
Nope.
I think during the times that we were riding on buses and stuff like that, even with the Bronx Mass Choir, I went out with them several times, and
Yo,
the
I know
band
that
was
was good, bro.
yeah, it was crazy. Like between me and John Peters and Randy and Chris and Ed
Hmm.
Rainey and all them dudes, just going up and down. I was just excited to be there. I was like 19, 17, 18 when I was doing it. But, it was cool. But now, people scared to get on the bus. They're scared to ride up and down the seawall. But, I just asked that question because a lot of people these days, they just get to a point where it's like, I should be paid like the musicians are paid. And the truth about it is, if I could just be all the way honest with you, yeah, I don't. Listen, they didn't come for an instrumental. They came
True.
to hear a choir. Um,
Right.
Another choir I was with, which I met Tracy. I was with the Nashville Super Choir. I'll be always on all the way honest with you. Um, I believe a lot of the times we was doing those shows, man. Uh, those people were paying to go over there. They were paying to go. There were people, if you were going to be on the show, you had to pay to be on the show.
That's right.
And they did it. To be honest with you, I kept saying to myself, this is BET. Ain't no reason why nobody should be lifting a finger. Not
They
right now.
they paid to get on the show, and you had to pay your way to get there. We paid for the bus. We had to pay for all of
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
It up.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, Tracy, I didn't understand that. I didn't. I was just like, I don't see
All about the
why this is
sacrifice.
happening. But I guess at that point, serving for the greater good of the ministry is what it's called. And I, you know, I mean, you get what you allow people to do.
Yeah.
You know, that's what
For
comes
sure.
about. Now, there are people who don't have a certain ounce of a blank spot of a resume that are demanding more than a person whose experience is
That's crazy.
True.
And
But
which brings me
the
go ahead.
problem is with that is that they start doing that based on what they hear others say.
That is true.
So it's not a
Yeah,
case of
yeah,
it's not a case of
yeah.
I've got the experience or I've got the exposure, but I've got in my head what I've heard other people saying. So if other people
Right.
say it, why can't I? And I'll use as an example, I made a phone call to a friend of mine about doing something, and the number that he gave me, I was like, literally, I had a Brent moment where I almost said something crazy because I was like, you're asking for all this money, yet
And
you
I
got
bet you he only know how to play shouting music.
barely.
Oh,
Mm.
oh Lord.
And so that's my thing. Like, you got to understand, putting price tag on anything. That's for preachers, that's for musicians, that's for singers,
Right.
whatever. Putting a price tag on something, first of all, you shouldn't be putting a price tag on your gift. That's number one. But number two, from a business standpoint, if you are putting a price tag on something, you need to have that. I'll go from the
That's
education.
right. That's right.
Education document, the curriculum vitae. Your resume needs to say something.
Yeah.
Don't come at
Yeah,
me
right.
telling me that you want me to pay you $2,500 and you can't even fill up a post-it note of stuff that you've done. And
Well,
unfortunately, that's the world that we're living in.
yeah, that is true. Brother Justin, it's good to see you. We're gonna ask you to hold on 1 second, because the first presiding host of the show, Brother Brent, done came on here,
Brent?
and we had to make sure Brent recovered from last week.
The presiding predator petty.
Yeah, because he got some.
Was it?
He got some information last week. He's still recovering. I can see that he's still got the band-aids on and the ice, the towel with the ice in it.
He wasn't the MVP last week, but he definitely.
No. Hey, he
Tracy
got
got
dunked
that last
on.
week.
He got dunked on last week.
He was the
He
other
got
guy on the
dunked
poster.
on.
He got posterized.
He got- Yes, sir. Brother Brent, you all right tonight, Doc?
I am here. I am here. That's the best answer I can give you. I am here.
Right.
So, how are y'all doing? How's everybody doing?
Yeah, we doing good, man.
Good.
good.
It's hot as the devil's ass out here in Houston, but you know, it's when I think there's a heat wave going everywhere.
111, I heard over there.
Yeah, and then you add humidity, so it's really like 120 something.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yes. That's
brutal.
That's microwave weather.
It
Literally.
definitely is slavery cotton picking weather. So I definitely am over it.
That makes Shannon uncomfortable.
It is.
That
Is
makes
everybody
what?
ready for the fourth?
He said it makes sinning uncomfortable.
Who said that?
Justin did.
I'm not drinking nothing. I'm good.
Kevin, I saw you was rehearsing today. You where in the world?
He's
are
in
you?
Philly.
I'm in Philadelphia, brother.
Y'all
I'm in
doing a show
Philadelphia.
tomorrow for the 4th of July?
Tomorrow and Saturday.
You're so famous.
No, I'm just happy I could pay that rent.
You know, because gas is high, ass is high,
Oh no.
eggs is high, milk is high, water's high.
You are her.
Huh?
He's starting tonight. Let's
Starting
go.
early.
Listen, he got to come back.
Yeah.
Because Tracy,
Listen.
you're not gonna gag me today. No,
Done today.
I let you have that last week. Whoa,
Brent,
but
remember that all happened off air.
it
Nobody
did,
knows.
and I
Nobody. That's right.
did. It did.
That's right.
If the glove don't
nobody
fit, you
know.
must have quit. So
Don't nobody know but God.
Don't nobody know but God and our little friends on this party.
And the screenshot I took.
You know, the after show is the real show. This is just
That's the real show.
That's the real
I be having to hit it, but I'm telling y'all, the real funny stuff happens when I hit that end stream. But that's when it all goes out.
God.
It goes left.
Oh my God.
Left. It almost turns around, just full circle.
Literally.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Justin, you're where are you?
I'm home.
Okay.
Congratulations,
So-
Justin, for the 40 under 40.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you so
the
much.
40
It was it. You was right.
40 under 40.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
there you go. I don't know
I
what the hell that
watched
means.
it. I
What does that
watched
mean?
AIM.
What is that?
Congratulations. I was so happy that you got your
Wait,
award.
Kev is in the dark. Let me bring Kev in.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is.
So they gave an award. They give an award every year where they honor and acknowledge people under the age of 40 who are doing positive, good things professionally, community,
wow.
outside just church.
Cool. Cool.
So they normally do 20 people. This year they did 40. So I was one of the 40 who.
Oh, 40. Okay. That's cool. I saw it.
Yeah, but it didn't make sense. Right. I understand. I get
I was like, did he get another? Is he with another choir? Is he with another queen? I mean, go ahead. So yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
Thank y'all.
congratulations. Yeah. And I'm not gonna say anymore. I'm just gonna
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Speaking of that,
left.
speaking of that, Justin, do you think Myron Williams was out of pocket for addressing the sound man the way that he did?
Man, I was getting ready to hit that. Justin, I'm gonna let you say it, but I gotta say my piece.
Because you
on
were
that.
there, so you know, like, so
Absolutely.
here's the thing, like, you know, the beginning, the middle, and the end, and not just the
posted social media, right?
Yeah,
right.
So bring us into that moment.
So
and what Charles was it? Charles was it Charles from Carolina? You talking about light skinned Charles that does sound?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I did a live last night about it, and here's the thing: is that particular service, I'm just going to deal with that day. I'm not even going to deal with the 2 days prior.
Okay.
We were. There was a lot of like small things that kept happening. We kept trying to fix it. And so, you know, myself, I saw Dr. Williams, stage manager, MD, make multiple, hey, can we fix that? Can we fix that? And it was getting fixed, but then it would pop up someplace else.
Okay.
So it just, you know, they got multiple pulpit mics. There's many variables to the situation of that day. And so, you know, Dr. Williams even actually made his way over to him and spoke to him. You know, and again, I'm going to say it. Like I said on my live, Charles is a good guy. He's a solid dude. He's a friendly dude. He's been doing this for a long time. You know, Dr. Williams is the same way. You know, he wants excellence. We all want the same thing, ultimately.
Of course.
All the musicians. And so, you know, Dr. Williams even actually went down off the stage and spoke with him and said, hey, look, we got trying to fix this, or whatever they were saying. And then somebody got up to pray, and then it was feeding back throughout the prayer. And that was kind of like where Dr. Williams had to kind of say, okay, look, we got to fix this because it's music day. We got music coming up. We like, you know, so that's why he did what he did. I personally, I thought what he did was not disrespectful.
Right.
I don't think it was malice. I don't think it was any arrogance in it. I think he was addressing a situation that needed to be addressed. Again, within the relationship he has with Charles, with the band, with the musicians, with the singers, I think, you know, anybody who follows Dr. Williams's discography, if you listen to his records, he always calls people out.
Mhm.
Musicians,
Mhm.
keyboard players, drummers, sound guys.
Absolutely.
It's just something he does. So for me, that's not really out of the norm,
Mhm.
because he'll say, "Come on, Justin." That means he wants me to turn it up. So that's not out of the norm. But I think he was calm. I think he was cool, collective. I don't think he was out of pocket, and I think he had to handle what needed to be fixed.
What was Charles' disposition? Like, so what was, when that happened, what was his, because I think everybody is so focused on what was said and how it was said until we need to hear from Charles on how he interpreted what was done. So what was his disposition? Because that's all that really matters.
Well, I can't speak for Charles directly, but like I said, I know Charles. He's a solid guy. He's a good guy. He has tough skin. He's a good dude all around. He's that dude. He's like I said, he knows Myron. He's been working with him. I think the relationship enough is for him to understand where it was coming from, and I think he knows
Okay.
enough to know, where it was. I think anybody, no matter how nice or pleasant or anything something is said, it's uncomfortable. But I don't think, again, I can't speak for Charles, but I don't think he was.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of like this whole thing with Karen Clark speaking in tongues at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. It's like, come on now, like what? So
Wait, about that. We'll come.
I didn't hear about that either. She did that.
Oh yeah, so she did a concert recently. This is not even my show. This is Kevin's show. But anyway, so Karen Clark there's a viral video going around. It was done the other day. She was invited to a Seventh-day Adventist church, and she's getting slack from the entire Seventh-day Adventist organization because she openly spoke in tongue at she was doing like praise and worship, and she was singing a song, and she was exalting the people. And I'll send you all the video in the chat. And so what she did was us as charismatic Pentecostals, when we speak in tongue as a spirit give utterance, or we speak in tongue as we were trained. So what happened was,
you ain't never lied, brother.
Y'all okay? Because we know
Address
church,
the
so we know
elephant
Yes,
in the
that's
room.
church.
we know when to insert it, to look
Church
more deep.
etiquette.
I was frying some chicken. And I thought about the goodness of the Lord, because there was a time when I couldn't afford chicken. Okay, so anyway, so she spoke in tongue, and basically, they said that it was demonic, and they felt like, so Seventh-day Adventists do not believe in speaking in tongue.
Mm-mm.
They felt like her, as a non-Seventh-day Adventist individual, should have never been invited to do praise and worship. And so now the organization is getting slack because they're like, well, like whoever booked her, y'all know that she is a charismatic. She believes against what we believe. Like, we believe in Jesus, we believe in Trinity and all that kind of stuff, but there's also some other things that we just don't believe is necessary to invoke the presence of God. And so the thing about it is that everybody was, kind of praising God with her and kind of enjoying what she brought, because I don't know if it was them really embracing the spirit or if they were just being a fan. But because it's twofold. So she spoke out, and then it was she's just getting a lot of slack, and they were saying that she can never go to a Seventh-day Adventist church. And then like the organization, whoever is over their social media, they were then responding and putting in like the bylaws of what they believe, and putting in and out, how she was wrong and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Okay, moving on. Because at the end of the day, as much as they sit up here, I don't know. This is what kills me, and I don't want to contradict myself, but what kills me is everybody has something to say about what everybody's doing. But I guarantee I could go to your church, and find something wrong with you.
That's right.
You might not want her to do that, but then there's certain things that you do that ain't cool either.
But my
Trust
thing
me, I
is, they
played for
knew
a
what she
Seventh-day
was.
Adventist church
They
for.
know what she's about and what the God that she served. Why
Well,
would they
whoever
invite her
asked
in?
her, they should have never invited her if that was the case,
Exactly.
because
I agree.
they knew that.
Yo,
And all I'm saying is that you have to get to a place where you stop always trying to judge people and recognize that who you let in your house is your fault.
Right.
You know,
Listen, and I'll, as one that had to play for a Seventh-day Adventist church, and my mother warned me years ago. I had to, a lady that I'd never met this one, but she heard me play, and she wanted me to come to play at their church. And so my mother was like, "Listen, I've played for Seventh-day Adventist churches before. Just warn you, these are the things." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So I'm like, "All right, they're singing the hymns, cool, singing them straight. I got the sheet music in front of me. I mean, I knew the hymns anyway. They had me playing the pipe organ, so I was like, okay, so it's different mindset." I sit down to play because she wanted my mom to bring me over, brought me over to the church. And I sit down at the organ, and she said to my mother, "He plays really, really well, but can you make sure that he takes his rings off before he plays on Sunday or Saturday?" Excuse me. And my mom was like, "Okay." And she was like, "Yeah, because the only jewelry that we wear are wedding bands, and most of us don't even wear them. We take them off when we come into the house of worship." And I was like, my mother was like, "So I'm just letting you know." I was like, I mean, I was a teenager at the time, but I was like, that's their policy. That's their policy. You got to acquiesce to what it now. That's not what I do, because I don't believe that that takes away any glory from God. Me having a ring on my finger, considering that it wasn't a wedding band, but it was a ring on my right hand. It was a ring that somebody actually gave me. Her husband passed away, and he bequeathed it to me. So I had the ring
I
on my
like
finger.
the word bequeathed.
You're not going into like you would. Not going into you would, but that was again me being adherent to what their policies and procedures were. It was just, it was what it was. But again, you got to know what you're getting into. So when you're signing these contracts, if there's certain things that you don't want, you need to stipulate that. Otherwise, you give free reign for that artist to do what he or she does.
I guarantee you, they won't tell Ty Tribbett that.
well,
They're
they're
not
not
gonna
letting
tell
Ty Tribbett come there.
Yeah, they would.
They're not gonna
They
let
would.
him come because
We
you
did.
know. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Kev. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
You
Go
said
ahead.
we
Go ahead.
did.
We did. They brought worship and praise to LA, and we had a Friday night gig, we had a Saturday night gig, a Sunday night. The Saturday gig was at a Seventh-day Adventist church. They told us ahead of time, we're not dancing, you do no speaking in tongues. Cool. So our mind was, we're gonna get up, we're gonna sing our little songs, and we're gonna and move.
Now,
The group before us shouting, speaking in tongues, and the people were going crazy. So we're like, oh, we can be us.
You ain't gonna stop Kevin Bond from speaking in tongues, bro.
No. He was prepared. You know, he would have just did his. I'm trying to hold it, you know. but we were prepared for it. But then the group before us, bro, you laughing, bro.
we have it at Brent.
No,
You need to-
it was what Brent just did, yeah.
What did you do? I missed it.
You're like a hot dog.
But they got up and you know, we got up and we did what we did, and this little wave came through. And it's funny. My mom, while we were in LA, had a blood clot in her lung. I was in LA. We did a gig in Sacramento, flew back down to LA, and through all of this, my mother had a blood clot in her lung. She was in the hospital, and I was getting ready to come home, and they said no, stay. God said stay, so I did. And this praise came in, and they came and they were praying for me. And in that, I mean, they put a clip on YouTube, and the 7-day events, they were going in. We don't act like this. This is unseemingly. This is that. They turned the sound off on us. So it was just like, okay, so they did it, but we couldn't. But they, you know, they don't go for none of that. But you know, I had put something in the chat, but you know, Lady Sheard was actually on my flight coming home from AIM because it was in New York. She was in New York. I was at a church in New York on Saturday, so you know, we you know, I had a really good conversation. She's very, very nice, but yeah, that's sad.
She is.
I like Kevin. on to the next.
Brent, I'm gonna keep moving because you brewing over there. You got steam coming from your head right now.
Do I?
Well, go ahead, Brent.
I don't know. I just think that we just got to stop being stupid.
Yes.
You know,
Say that again.
you know what a person brings to the table. One thing about it is that you have to separate business from personal beliefs. And so she came in to do a job. You know who she is. Karen Clark Sheard has only been singing for 100 years, and so she's not new to this. She does what she does, and she not only that, but she is the first lady of the International Church of God in Christ. So you already know that the Church of God in Christ, who has been around for 120 years or something like that, they are charismatic Pentecostals, evangelicals, and so you know what that brings to the table. I think that what we have to do is we have to separate. Okay, so I was thinking about this earlier. This is where I want to go with this. Jesus said, "Let the wheat and tear grow together, and He'll do the separating." I think what we are in is, I think we are in a season of the separation. And we're really starting to see who has a form of godliness and who really has the power of him and who really
Denying the power
possesses
thereof.
the power of Jesus Christ. And I think that what we are seeing is that a lot of these churches are now being exposed because you really realize that they never believed what they preached.
Right.
And what's good for the goose is not always good for the gander. And so I just think that we're in a very sensitive time. This goes back to Myron Butler and his correction of the sound man. I think that it, because it all
Myron
kind of
Williams.
ties in together.
Myron Williams.
Myron Williams. Oh, Myron Butler. I ain't seen him in forever. But anyway,
I was sitting
Myron
over here
Williams.
like,
Right, Myron Williams. I think that we're just in such a sensitive culture. And unfortunately, we have the LGBTQIA plus community to blame for that because they're just so sensitive. And so they've made it comfortable for everyone else to relinquish in their sensitivity. And we live in a gray area. It's no longer black and white, right? So it's kind of like, I think that we are just in a season of, like I said, where God is literally showing us physically who He has separated. And now the pavement, the rubber has to hit the pavement, and you're going to see who really got this thing and who really don't. That's why the Bible says that the righteous is scarcely going to make it in, because you're starting to see people who taught you the ways of holiness that really taught you a form, but they didn't believe.
Right.
And so they tricked you into a system that they didn't even believe themselves.
Oh, my
And
shot.
so now they are showing you that the thing is, it's not that they were different people. It's just that you see now who they really are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what they really believe and even because for instance, if you've been, I have a hard time believing that so many people that have been serving in the faith and that have been tilling the ground and really preaching this life, they end up with dementia and Alzheimer's. You mean to tell me that I served God for all this time and then I lose my mind?
Mm.
So I'm vacillating with that because I'm starting to see that a lot happening now with the people that put us into this. And so now when I have conversations with my mom, I'm like, so what happened? What changed? Because you got me to believe a system that I'm starting to see maybe you didn't really believe it.
He's able to keep us.
So now
Or was it a
so
system
now
that
what do
was
I
made
do?
that wasn't divinely inspired?
Inspired, yeah.
But see, this is what happens when you worship the leader more than you worship God.
That's right. That's right.
And that's where the problem lies.
right.
That
Yeah, there was
That's
more
where-
loyalty to the leader, and then God would just throw him in the
loyalty to
corner
the leader,
somewhere.
not loyalty to the Lord.
Yep.
Right.
And
So-
unfortunately, in a lot of situations, the leader became their Lord.
They became their Lord and they became their pimp. So the thing
Mhm.
is that what do we tell this next generation? What do we tell the generation coming behind us, and so on and so on? How are we? Because everybody on this podcast, believe it or not, we are the last generation of old school holiness.
You right.
That's true.
It's it.
This is it.
We're the
This
bridge.
is it.
Yeah.
We know what mothers of the church look like. We know what tarrying is. We know what really living this thing out, is. We know what it is to rightly divide the words of truth. We know what it is to see demons and spirits cast it out. We know what it's like to go on fasts, to go on consecrations, to have tent revivals where mosquitoes are biting the shit out of you. We know what it's like to, you know what I'm saying, in the dirt.
You're right.
In a yellow tent.
You
With
ain't
a
never
organ,
lied.
with a yellow extension cord, plugged up to a what is that thing?
Generator.
A generator. You know what I'm saying? We know what it's like to have devotion service. We didn't have praise and worship. What was
The luxury is the generator.
line and hymns.
And tarry service too. We had that.
Most of us know what it's like to grow up in a storefront church that has evolved into a brick and mortar. You know what I'm saying? Yep. We know what it's like to have guidelines and structures. We know what it's like to have church clothes, play clothes, and school clothes. Right. We know what it's like to come to church literally every day of the damn week.
The whole
doing
week.
Your homework. You got choir rehearsal. You got YPPW or whatever the youth program was at your organization. We know what it's like to have a spontaneous revival or spontaneous whatever. We know what it's like to have Sunday night service every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
We know what it's like to come to get out of school, to eat on the way to church and do your homework in the back of the church.
Back of the church. And you better not fall asleep.
Don't try to do it on Terry night and take a long time to do your homework. Because they will call you out over the mic. It don't take that long to do no homework.
It don't. We know what it's like for our mothers to come to church with switches and belts.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? We are the last generation of old church. And although a lot of it was wrong, there is a lot of it that was right. And that caused us the fear of God that was put
fear
in
of God. That's right.
Kept
that's
us
right.
and keeps us from going too far. No matter how long you've been away from the church, no matter how long you've been in it, no matter if you really saved or you're not, even if you're not saved, if you grew up under that old school holiness, you still have a reverence for God. You don't just get up. You know how to
lay their hands on you and put some oil on you this week.
I know.
Listen, every day of my life, still to this day, if I am in my mother's presence and I go to sleep, you better believe I'm going to wake up with a greasy cross on my forehead.
On your forehead.
To this day. And I'm grown and I don't know what. But there is not a time where I cannot be in my mother's presence and she does not anoint me and says, keep my child from danger, seen and unseen.
Seen and unseen. God, I thank you.
My parents went on a vacation one time and kept my brothers and I. We stayed at home by ourselves because at this time we were as of age. We didn't do nothing wild and crazy, but as soon as my mama walked through the door, we was glad to see our parents. We was, oh, hey, mom, hey, dad, da, 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 da. My mama hugged us and she said, Hoba Shando. I smell sin. She said, I know how it smelled in my house before I left. So who was in here? Because I smelled them. Who was in here? And I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? She's like, before you lie, I want you to know God is already spelling the name out to me. So give me what it is before I tell you what happened.
Wow.
I'm like, dang, God.
It was me.
Like, dang. Okay, it was me in the back of the church. Okay, golly. I just wanted a little piece. You know what I'm saying? But to get me through. But it's like
the Lord done told on you.
Listen.
Justin.
It's me, oh Lord.
Oh, said it in the deed, Jesus.
Said it in the deed. You know, I remember coming home plenty of days and the stove was cold. And I said, Mama, what we gonna eat? She said, I don't know, because God called me to a fast.
Wow.
Well, baby,
Remember
he ain't
those
called
days,
me
too.
to no fast. So
Right.
what
I ain't got nothing to do with that relationship with.
he didn't call me.
Everything in the house have to fast.
Everything gotta fast. So I just feel like that is what built our character and our tolerance and our thick skin and
Yeah.
our blindness and our low tolerance to foolishness in church. I have never seen a generation of people that are just so comfortable cussing in the pulpit.
I'm gonna be real, Brent. Judges chapter 2 talks about it. It says that
Yes, it
they
does.
suddenly grew up a generation who
Mm.
knew not the Lord. This generation don't really know him, because if they did, they would reverence him like we did.
These are some niggas.
Niggas, so
Okay?
straight up thug niggas, right?
These are some niggas that ain't got no holiness. They don't have no reverence. They don't have no fear of God. They don't have no respect. What is that? But I thank God for how I was raised.
I do every day.
Because
Every
it
day.
keeps me grounded. And
Mhm.
even when I go too far, even though whatever convicts you may not convict me and vice versa, I know when I have went too far, and it's like the Holy Spirit will tap me and be like, hey, okay,
Reel it in.
Reel it in.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh
Can I?
Lord, please forgive me. Please delay your coming, because if you come right now, surely I'm gonna lift my eyes up in hell. We can us on this podcast, we can conduct a service by ourselves.
You better know it. Have done it.
From
By
beginning to end.
ourselves. No program. You ain't
For sure.
got to. They taught us be ye also ready.
Sure
So
did.
you could. It's been plenty of
My
times.
grandfather taught me how to preach a 2-minute sermon.
See what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
With your 3
Right.
points
That's right.
and wreck. My pastor used to teach us, if you can't invoke the presence of God in 60 seconds, you need to test your prayer life.
All right.
That's it.
That's the truth, bro.
You need to go
I
back.
want to say this. Brent, as was said earlier, you and God had a conversation before you got on here.
I mean,
I
He
don't
was
know
anointed
what happened.
tonight, boy.
listen, you
What?
need to
I
never mind.
mean,
Never mind.
My show ain't built around all that, but since you brought it there, I'm gonna just say we had to, because one thing, and that's a good segue into what I was saying. When you talk about reverence, the truth was, I didn't see it as them trying to program me. It was just what they believed. Like you said, there was a system that some people really didn't believe in, but they were taught. So this is what you do. But then there were certain things that to this day I don't do because of what I learned when I was a kid.
Mhm.
And even if I decide to do it, what I know is that there's something in me that still displays a screen of conviction.
Yes, sir. That's the word.
Even after I've done it, it's still like, now you knew better than that. Now, again, I don't mind. I'm 51 years old. And my mother can get on the phone with me right now. And there's just certain ways I just won't talk to my mother.
Right.
And the reason why is because not just what I learned at home, but in the church that Avery and I grew up in, I was raised in a village. So my mother did not have to be there for me to understand that my mother was still there.
that's
And when
right.
she
And
found
anybody
That's a
could beat you
fact.
and correct you.
It's because I got dealt with by the people who saw me do it. Then I got dealt with after they told her that I did it.
for sure.
So there was always a reverence. And I think a lot of times, like you said, we are the last ones. I've never said it that way because I really couldn't put it in words, but I appreciate you for that. We are the last ones because now, I think Myron said it, pastors are preaching in the pulpit with hats on. I guess my biggest thing is that, this is why people always say to you that, we got to reach people where they are. No. I understand that. But
Jesus
if
ain't
we
never
don't,
came down.
but if we don't look different from them, if we don't look like there's something that they can reach for, I'm not saying perfect because ain't nobody perfect
Right.
nowhere. We're not asking for that. It is horrible for us to ask somebody to be something that we cannot be. It's not just fair. I don't use that word fair no more. It ain't right. So we don't have that. But when you really get down to the brass tacks of it, they have to look at like, you don't have to stay here. You can come here. But the reality of it is that the reverence and the conviction, a lot of people are not convicted because they really don't know God for themselves. They don't know.
They don't know him at all.
I know if I know what I know, then I know there's certain things in church I'm just not gonna do. I'm not taking no money in church. I'm not stealing from nobody in church. I'm not gonna turn around and curse nobody out. And I want to slap the hell out of you, but I can't.
You ain't gonna say it in church.
You're not gonna say it. You're gonna probably do it. Say it
exactly. But like I said last week, even with the songs that we sing, like there's just certain things we listen and we hear certain things that might be out there on the radio. I'm like, I can't sing that in church. One, it don't make sense. Two, it goes against what the Bible says. Facts. But there's like what Brent said before, and even Kevin was just saying, like there's just certain things that you want to do. But Lucy Campbell, who I talked about last week, again, she played for the Roberta Martin singers. Lucy Campbell wrote a song, and it's actually a hymn. It says something within that holds the reins, something within I cannot explain. But all I know is there's something within. Brent is absolutely right. We are the generation. We got something in us that still holds us accountable and that still holds us close to the word. Yeah, again, a lot of stuff was man-made. A lot of the traditions didn't make sense. A lot of the statements that were made from the pulpit and from the pew didn't make sense. But at the same time, it allowed us, one, to now get a mind to say, let me go check that. How much sense does that make? Two, it made us then go into the word even deeper to see how it applies now. I always tell people, I'm like, the relevant question, and Marissa Farrell and I talk about this all the time. There's always that relevant question in every sermon that you stand up to preach. You have to ask, what is the relevant question? What is this text trying to teach me right now? And how does it apply to the people that I'm preaching to right now? Avery said something before. He said his grandfather taught him how to preach a 3-point sermon in 2 minutes. I keep a 5-minute sermon in my phone because I never know when I'm going to need it. There's a few of them in there. I never know when I'm going to need it. You got to always be prepared. But the thing is, I'm so prepared with it that I don't even have to look at my phone. Because I took the time to study it. I took the time to learn about what it is that I'm teaching the people. And if my notes go kablooey, I can still preach it. How many times have we been standing up there listening to these preachers nowadays? If their iPad goes out or if their papers get all disheveled, you don't know what they're talking about, and neither do they.
Scott, but even if you don't have a 5 or a 2-minute sermon in your phone, your life should be able to get up and just talk about the goodness of God in your life.
Life is a sermon.
And wreck the church. Be able to edify. Yeah, I remember one time I was at my granddaddy church and they just was like, well, you preaching today. What? I ain't know. Are y'all okay? I don't preach. But let me tell you something. I got up and the first thing I said was, I thank God for the Holy Ghost.
Yes, sir.
And I went from there and started talking about the different things that I had been through in my life that I had experienced. And your life should be a living testimony. We used to sing a song, I want to live so that God can use me anytime, anywhere.
Yes,
so
sir.
Even if I don't have even if I can't exegete or all that kind of stuff, a message, my life should tell you that God is faithful. God is good. He's been good to me. He may not come when you call him right away, but you better believe before you shut your eyes, he's going to be right there.
Yep.
You know, he's kept me through danger seen and unseen. Thank God. My first testimony was, I thank God for waking me up this morning. Boom. You know how many people woke up dead?
That's the truth. I say that all the time. Thank God last night was not my last night.
He called somebody, but he didn't call me.
But when he called me, I was able to answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say this, as I've said before.
With this doll, what is happening?
I'll be right back, y'all.
He said this doll.
We're going to drink some orange juice like a preacher.
Yeah. I need a minute.
Gotta go get his Gatorade.
All right. Normally when it goes left like that, I just shut up. As y'all can see, I didn't say anything because after a while I'm like, All right. Well, program is out the way for a minute. But I think it's true. I think in a lot of ways we've lost a lot of the reverence and the not being scared, but the fearing God. We've lost that. We've lost that element of understanding. Dad, all three of y'all went to blank
right.
screens. Okay. All right. I guess okay. But I think that a lot of
I'm
people
here. I'm going to my front door to find out what in the world is going on with these fireworks.
that's
Oh
what they
yeah,
are. That's
same,
what they are. They
same.
can't wait till tomorrow. They gotta do it tonight.
I can't stand it. I hate it with a passion.
um, but yeah, you have to you got to really understand that a lot of the things that we were taught, this generation does not know, and they don't listen.
No.
They don't listen. They are not willing to listen. They're not willing to change for it. There was a pastor who was on, I think it was TikTok, and he said, when y'all listen to Snoop Dogg and all these other people, we can't stop y'all from dancing and bucking and doing whatever. But the moment I tell you what God said, y'all get mad, you know. And I was like, yeah, he said, but we went to see Eddie Griffin the other night. And he was, he's just as vulgar as he wants to be. But there was a portion of his show where he was like, okay, so I'm going to be honest with y'all. If I said something that offended you, then I must be talking about you because I never said a name. I never pointed you out. I never said, he said, and I talked about everybody. I talked about everybody. And if you mad, because I talked about men, I talked about women, I talked about how women sold us for chicken change. I talked about, brothers in the jail and, politics and all. He said, I talked about everybody. But if you mad at what I'm telling you, then it must be you. You what I'm talking about, because I never said your name.
Hit dogs bark.
Only a hit dog is gonna holler. So I think a lot of times we often don't pay attention to the fact that our inner insecurity, our inner insecurity, our problematic issues start with us. And a lot of times we can see something that's right, but we just don't do it because it's not comfortable. Your flesh and God will never agree with each other. Ever.
Right.
Never going to agree with each other. And they're not only they're not supposed to, but even if there was a possibility where they could, more than likely we're gonna fight it.
Right.
Because a lot of times there are pleasures that we accept that are not godly. That's why, the Bible talks about that too. So that just went all the way left, but we appreciate everybody for it. Because I guess it had to be said.
I'm sorry. I'm bilingual. I speak in natural and in spirit.
Well, it was supposed. Somebody got something from it, Brent. I'm just letting you know right now. It was somebody who probably trying to speak that forever, and they just don't have the voice or the words to express it. But we all know that you don't have a problem finding what to say and how to say it.
I just want us to be real with God, and I want us to stop playing. Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even about trying to be deep. It ain't trying to be
right.
It ain't even trying to be.
No. That's the problem.
Everybody
the way you say it, nobody can dismiss the fact that they understand because of the way you said it. Right. See, a lot of times there are people who are trying to be so deep, we don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
Because they ain't saying nothing.
They ain't saying nothing.
It's a baby pool.
You are trying to be so deep, but you are so shallow.
The word is simple. We make it hard.
Yeah.
Can we talk about something else too while we talk about being deep? What is with this? I guess nowadays it's become more prevalent. And we talked about it, I think, a couple weeks ago, the man of God, and everybody.
I have said that. Stuff
like this, and for what? Be yourself.
Yeah, but see,
but the
Scott,
whole
you just told them
presence.
And
you just said be yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tracy.
They start talking in old English language, like why? Why
you from Compton? Stop it.
With a microphone, all of a sudden now this, thine, and they.
You from?
I tell people all the time. I taught English for 12 years, and I can speak the King's English if necessary, or the Queen's English because it was Elizabethan era. I can speak the Queen's English if I wanted to. But if I'm talking to a group of people that are not of that magnitude of academia and that wouldn't understand anything else but, yo, let me holler at you for a minute. Why would I try to go so deep and it go right over their heads? Why come down to their level? That's what Jesus did.
Right.
Well,
He
Scott,
sat on the grass and talked to people.
this is what I found out. The reason why a lot of them do it is because as black people, we always want to look like we the better nigga than the other nigga.
That's
Well,
true.
then there's that.
That's our biggest thing. We trying to make sure that I sound smarter than the average person. But I said it so many times before that the people that you think are dumb are smarter than you.
Yes, sir.
Because the one thing that they have that's more intelligent than what you have is that they're honest about the fact of what they know.
Yes,
You,
sir.
however, are in the front trying to make them look like they don't know anything and you know more than they do. When in
And they know more than
reality,
you.
the insecure person is the one who doesn't want to learn anything.
Right.
The secure person is the one that says, I don't know. Can you show me? So black people, especially these pastors, I don't want to get started on that because I'll go a whole nother way. But some of these pastors are so busy trying to I know pastors who have a degree in psychology and they only use it to try to always have one up on people that they're meeting.
Right.
That's witchcraft.
That's
You know,
exactly what it is.
it's
witchcraft.
manipulation. And
It's
so
witchcraft.
because of that,
Spirit give it life.
when you say things, I got put out of churches because I would tell pastors, I really don't care about your office because at the end of the day, you didn't become a pastor because you were called. You became a pastor because you were bored.
Or you slept with the right person.
Or however you did it, you didn't become because what I know about real leaders do not want to lead because they know what they have to give up and they don't want to.
That's
Humble
true.
is the way.
They know that if somebody spit in their face, they're not turning the other cheek. They know that. But to be a leader who's called and a leader who decided that that's what you want, anybody that says, I want to be a pastor, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Mm-mm.
I don't want nothing to do with you. You know why? Because at the end of the day, you're letting me know that you want to be a dictator. You want to be a manipulator. You want to
Or you
be
want to be
somebody
a
Want to
that,
be in the
or you
spotlight.
want to,
Right.
yeah, just all you want. And the reality of it is that those who really understand, they know what they have to sacrifice. They know what they have to let go. They got to forgive when they know they right. You know what I'm saying? They got to let it go when they know it's right here in front of me. Because I remember I was going through a dark time in my life and I was just like, God, why you letting them do all this talking and I got to shut up? Why you won't let me say nothing? Every time I go to talk, you either make it where ain't nobody there, ain't nobody looking, ain't nobody listening, ain't nobody paying attention. But the moment that person talks, they get all this attention. Why is that? You know what he said? He said, I'm going to tell you why. Because when it's time for them to be exposed, I don't want you nowhere near them.
Mhm.
And I had to
What did
accept
Jackie
it.
Chan say in Rush Hour? I like to let people talk who like to talk.
I like to.
So I can see how full of, and then we find out exactly how full of it they are.
And the reality of it was, I heard it. This is what Jackie Chan said in that other movie, in The Karate Kid. He said, being still and doing nothing is two different things.
Two different things.
Doing nothing is a problem, but being still shows that you're waiting for something to happen or you are what's about to happen.
What does Psalm 46 say? Be still and know that I
He
am
said
God.
listen, and I had to tell you, there was a lot of times, Brent knows exactly what I'm talking about, but there was a lot of times I had to shut up because the moment that I talked, I gave more attention to the person who tried to deform my character.
Yep.
As opposed to just saying, you know what, because now I'm watching what my silence did. I'm watching my silence literally. I basically got quiet and stepped back because now everything that's happening, you can't blame me for nothing. I wasn't nowhere near you when this stuff happened. Matter of fact, I don't think my name was mentioned in it, but you'll find every reason to try to put me in the mix. But the reality is everybody had to see who you were. And in order for people to see who you are, I had to be dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm saying is that that's what real leaders have to do. We got to be quiet. We can't be loud. Bible talks about leading a quiet life. Nobody doing that, but anyway. It talks about that, and you have to shut up. It said, blessed are the peacemakers. I don't want to be a peacemaker right now. I want to raise some hell. But you can't. You know why? Because as a leader, now we're going back to this, Brent. if you step out and do what you want to do, there's something that's going to convict you to bring you back. You still can't do it. So it
Or you'll be
wasn't
the
that
first
I
one
ain't
to
trying.
apologize.
Listen, you know how many times I had to apologize when I was right?
My God,
anybody can look at this who don't even know me, and you can turn around and know that I was right, but I'm coming back on. You know what? Listen, I apologize, and I felt like such a punk. But the reality of it was, no, I'm on something else. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't have the time. I don't have the resources to just say, okay, I'm just gonna act a fool today. And Brent, like you, like all of us on here, we don't bother nobody. But you ever notice how people always find a way to get to you?
Every day when I see them stank ass white men at my job, they always got something to say. I'm like, why aren't all y'all dead? Like, why? Like, what is happening? But you know what, Kevin? I'm like, so is everybody dumb? No, it's me.
Right.
I'm the
Right.
problem. It's me. It's me. It's me, oh Lord. It's me. Because it seems like stupidity makes sense to everybody else.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
You know, I preached this past Sunday. I don't feel like it, but I've got to do it.
Wow.
This really, and this people are not the determining factor of my faith and my walk with God. What you do, how you respond, if you move, if you don't move, if you follow me, if you don't follow me, it don't matter. At the end of the day, I know what God said to me. Abraham was told, take Isaac, go, he gonna be your sacrifice. Everybody else's opinion don't matter. I know what God told me. Are you crazy? Your son, your only son that God bless you? No, don't do that. If that was today, if that was some of us, we would have so many people in our ears.
That's the truth.
Making us go against what God told us because what God told us sounds out of the norm. This ain't about what I feel. I want to, like Kevin said, I want to tell you where to go. I had a phone call. I'll tell you about that after. I had a phone call, and it was the Holy Ghost that took me because I felt some cuss words coming up.
You should have called me.
And the reality is I didn't do it not because of the person, but because I know what God said to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when we start making this about God, and that's what preachers make the mistake. It's not about me controlling you. It's not about me telling you what to do. It's about me really pointing you back to God. Because I am really as messy as you are. There's just a call on my life.
As messy.
Difference. I'm called to preach, you called to usher. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
I'm just as messy. But if it wasn't for what God told me, I don't feel like doing it, but I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I don't want to be nice, but I've got to do it. I don't want to be cordial, but I've got to do it. Like you said, Kev, there's a couple people, there's some smacks that like last St. Louis. There's a couple people need to be smacked, but I didn't do it. Because
wasn't that Paul that said, when I want to do right, evil is present?
Evil is present. That's right.
I preached on that, and I take attendance. Because
you know, Justin, at this point, I'm just going to join your church. Forget it. I pay tithes.
You done preached. You done preached. But the whole, listen, I ain't gonna get into it. But the thing is, Isaac was of age. He knew about the sacrifice. He knew about the process. So he's like, all right, Dad, I see the wood, I see the fire. Where's the lamb? He had no idea he was the sacrifice.
Right.
See, this is the church preached to Abraham. We gotta start preaching to the Isaacs. Because
what do it look like when you the lamb?
I had no idea I was a sacrifice.
I had no idea.
The father didn't tell Isaac he was a sacrifice because Isaac was old enough to know, oh no, I'm gonna stay here. I'm not gonna tell you to sacrifice because why? I'm not gonna bring you to Moriah. Moriah is
that's right. That's right.
So I'm not gonna tell you what's gonna happen when you get to the chosen place, because if you know the crucifixion that's gonna happen, you ain't gonna go.
You're not gonna go. No.
You gonna run away.
No. Listen, we're gonna move on because we can sit here all night.
This is good.
The reality of it is
this is good damn church.
What we have to understand is that for the longest time, we have lived in systems that a lot of people who taught us about the systems didn't believe themselves. The world made an uproar the other week when Ty Tribbett said the systems of the church is whack. He did not say the church was whack. No, he did not. He did
And
not
it
say
is.
that.
And it is.
He said the systems was whack. And the church will kill you before the problem will.
Of course.
And when Ty said what he said, now we understand systems of the church. I can't talk to a pastor, and tell him what's going on. We just had this happen. I forgot I was gonna go on and I changed my mind. I'm on here tonight. But there was a young man from Canada that called me and talked to me about this church. He was loyal to this church. He had been there for 13 years, going in and out. And he's a multi-musician. And he went over, started playing for another group. And a couple of Sundays he wasn't at church. While he was on the road, he called back to find out how things were going. So he's out on the road. He don't have to care about what's going on, but he went back and started, asking, hey, how things going? You guys need anything? I'm out, but I can tell. And they told him he was suspended. Just out of nowhere. And he said, wait a minute. I've only been gone 2 Sundays. Why are you suspending me? So he came back to the church, went to the pastor's office. Pastor told him, yeah, I'm going to have Minister of Music talk to you or whatever. He said, why? You're the one that hired me. So why do I have to talk to him? Why can't I talk to you? He said, well, I have somebody in place. He said, yeah, but they're only in place, but they didn't hire me. You did. So why can't I talk to you? Long story short, he went over and he was so frustrated. He was just like, I just need somebody to talk to. And the moment that he was on the phone with me, he told me he had to call me back. About an hour and a half, he called me back. He said, big bro, can I tell you something? I said, yeah. And he sounded like everything had just fell off of him. He said, I cannot believe this. He said, now I understand why God had to make it so uncomfortable where I was, because I, being faithful to this church, would not have accepted the new position that I just got a call about from Sony Music in Canada.
Wow.
He said, I would have told them no, when in actuality, that was a promotion that I would not have taken because I was being faithful to this church. But the church turned around and fired me. Sony called me while I'm on the phone with you and said to me, we want you to head the Canadian division of our company.
Sometimes God closes doors and we don't realize it.
Listen, hold on, Scott. Hold on. That's exactly right. Because the real deal was he would have never taken that position because he was so loyal to that church. But watch this. That church wasn't loyal to him.
Right.
So he turned around and got a whole. He heads up the Canadian region of Sony now. He just got that call while I'm on the phone with him. I said, well, don't forget me now. Hold on a minute. Now you just let me know, if you need anything, because that means. And guess what? He'll be traveling more than anything. Now he can't be at that church. Now he went to go do a gig. Now he's a regional manager. He can't even be in church no more.
Kev, here's the basis of this scripture. Abraham got up to Moriah and he's getting ready to kill his son. And the angel of the Lord said, hold up, chill. I just want to see if you was willing.
If you was willing to do it.
There's a ram right behind you. The ram didn't get there once at that moment. The ram was already waiting for them.
Right.
So sometimes we got to go through because God got something waiting for us. And okay, he had to be uncomfortable in that church. He had to get suspended from that church. Why? Because God had a ram waiting for him.
A bigger ram than the church, though.
Because
a bigger ram than the church, because now. Go ahead.
Kev, because a ram is a mature sheep. A lamb is a baby
absolutely.
Sheep.
It's a baby sheep. That's right.
Than just a lamb. So you're making a bigger sacrifice. Yeah, so you're getting something bigger. The blessing's going to be greater. Absolutely.
And the thing about it was the part that kind of ticked me off at first before he told me that. I was sitting up here going, that's witchcraft too. Because now you're trying to take money and food and the opportunity for this man to take care of himself and his family, you want to be in control of that because he wants to go out here and do what you can't do. And Eddie Griffin said this, Bishop Griffin, I was calling him. He said this. He said, why do you get to judge me on something you can't even do?
Mm.
You can't even do it. Why are you judging my comedy, but you can't get up here and make nobody laugh?
Not even yourself.
Not even yourself. You can't get up here and laugh at yourself. That's how bad you are at what you're talking about. You know, so I just find that's a whole nother conversation, but I just really find it that a lot of times there's so many ministries that are trying to control you when they should really be asking you, what do you want to do? I don't see you being stuck here. I don't see you. Walter Hawkins, God rest his soul, he said this. He said, you don't get to come to Love Center and just stay and do nothing. He said, at some point, you're going to have to get up and get out of here and go basically teach somebody else what you were taught. You can't stay here and do nothing and be all up in my face all day. I'm not going to be here all the time. Well, so you're going to have to learn something. So I just feel like a lot of times, like you all said in the beginning, we got to stop worshiping these pastors and get back to worshiping God. Because guess what? The pastors just happen to be the pastors. They just happen to be the pastors, but they ain't no different than us.
But we also got to stop being submitted to insecure men.
I mean, let's just call it for what it is.
Because a lot of them thrive off of that. They have no relevance in any other
That's why
area.
they started the church, because
the wife ain't happy.
What did I say?
The children don't like them. The sex ain't good. All they know is church. The credit bad. All they have is somebody. All they have are the members to worship them and to adore them. But what they don't realize is that's your reward. That's your reward.
Right. That's it. That's all you get.
You know what I'm saying? And I think if we start really honing in on that there's a life after this life. Do you want everything now? That's why I have a problem with these teenagers and these young children trying to get all these labels and this Gucci and these Christian Louboutin and all that kind of stuff. Like, you ain't got nothing forward to look to. Like, okay, so you get it now, then what?
Right.
Because you're going to have to progress. So if you get your reward here on earth, I'd rather be ignored on earth than to be ignored in heaven. Because that's where I'm going to be forever. Here is just temporary. So the moment we stop submitting ourselves to these insecure men who are on an ego power strike, that's when we, first of all, I feel like most of these pastors need therapy. And they need a life outside of the pulpit, but that's another time for time.
You can see a counselor and be a Christian. I just had that announced at church on Sunday.
Most Christians need therapy.
I'm about to say okay.
On the couch.
Let's move on from here because
because I feel my help
deep situation
in this red cup.
I'm gonna let you. Let's move to the worldly stuff for one second.
This is called balance.
Hey, you stupid. I want somebody to tell me, Brent. I look forward to your.
Oh God, Kevin.
But no, I ain't gonna do it to you. I'm gonna talk to Tracy this time because Tracy just be sitting back looking and watching.
Tracy is the one that got Tracy's the real gagger. She's the real one. I just play this life, but she lived that life.
Tracy, hey, Tracy does uppercuts after we get off. Tracy does uppercuts after we get off.
Tracy's a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just played.
Tracy is Tracy.
I got one for us tonight, but I'm gonna wait.
I can't wait. Thank you, Lord.
Right.
Let me eat this edible.
Listen, this sexy red girl, ain't nothing sexy about this girl.
Ain't not a damn thing. So she got her STDs too.
Listen, I got nothing. Are we gonna talk about this?
She set up. She postured herself. Whoa. I love.
Wait a minute, Tracy. Wait, Tracy. Go.
Okay, here is my issue. BET, Black Entertainment Television, as much as Black women have had to suffer and go through things and we just
Talk your
put
talk,
them
ma'am.
on stages to look like complete trash. And of
Fools.
course, I'm sorry, that was real bad, but that is
No, it
exactly
wasn't.
what they look like. And at one point, you have the nerve to turn your behind over and shake it. So what will you tell your children when they grow up and look at this video of what my mama did with her nasty self? That is terrible. And Sexy Red, no, it is not. Red is sexy, but that ain't.
Black
That was
exploitation
just
television.
nasty. The
Black
color,
exploitation
the
television has
color.
taken advantage
That was
of
just
us
terrible.
as a people.
Absolutely terrible. And as a black woman, I feel bad because
I was just about to ask you that.
none of your light-skinned cousins was on there doing it.
I was just about to ask you, how does that make you feel as a black woman? Because I feel like TV makes black women look very ignorant.
Yep.
It does. And as much as you have to go through and prove yourself, you have to do extra. As a black woman, I have to do extra on my job. As a black musician woman, I have to do extra in the bandstand. And now this is what's presented. Just trash. It was trashy. It was disrespectful. There was nothing classy about it at all.
We the last generation, Tracy.
I'm sorry.
I
We the last
saw
generation.
I saw her on there this morning. I woke up and I saw it because it's all over everywhere. She's like considered the hottest thing right now. I just we had Whitney Houston, Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, Celine Dion,
Diana
Bette
Ross,
Midler, Diana Ross.
And
We
they
had
Turner.
Tina Turner and Ella Fitzgerald. We
Gladys
had Janet
Knight.
Jackson. We had Gladys Knight. We had Tina Marie. We had
The sexiest one we had was Phyllis Hyman.
Yes, sir.
Phyllis Hyman was sitting everybody down.
I wanted to sleep with Phyllis Hyman, and that takes a lot for me in my
Oh
ministry.
Lord.
I was a little boy, stiff as a rock.
Phyllis Hyman was sitting people down. We had even the
Justin,
most risque that we had, the most risque that we had back when the other stuff. Eric Wilson, what's up, man? The most
Minnie Rippleton
risque we had was Adina Howard at one point when Adina Howard came on. We was like, oh my god, whoa! But we had those kind of ladies.
We had that.
We had Sheila E. We had we had all of these. We had Diane Carroll.
Right now,
we had
Diane Carroll could still get it in the grave.
Yeah,
Lena Horne,
Felicia Rashad, Debbie Allen.
Felicia Rashad and Debbie Allen. Black excellence. We even had Queen Latifah, and I love that young man.
Eric Alexander.
Wait a minute. What?
Chip Fields.
Hold on, Scott. Hold on.
Yes, he said it and he meant it.
And Kim Fields was beautiful. You had all of those people. You had those kind of people. When you had those people to look up to, we had ladies. We had queens. We had Felicia Rashad. That she was the pinnacle when the Cosby Show was on.
Yes, sir.
This was a black lawyer.
That was an attorney.
You can tell me Bill Cosby ain't hit that.
That was a partner in her law firm.
And there was there was a partner. That's right. But they never told that story. But
right, they told it one time. There was one episode when they went to the office.
Yep, when the kids went to the office.
Right.
I can't. What's up, Eric?
We had Lorraine Stanton.
But
right.
Yeah.
But seriously, but
that shortcut and them thick legs.
We had Lorraine Stanton.
We had
she was the bell kicking her heels off.
Patty who?
And what people didn't know was my mother was doing that before Patty did. Let's just be very clear. That was happening a long time ago. But when you look at it now, we got Ice Spice, Nicki Minaj. We got, don't talk about Cardi B. That's my girl. Don't talk about her.
But no, we got to talk about
Sexy Red.
Jocelyn Hernandez.
No, we have to. We got Jocelyn. We got what's that girl's name now? Meg Thee Stallion. We
Listen,
got
Lady
Sukihana.
Gaga,
what's the big girl's name?
Oh, Lizzo.
Sukihana is a dummy. She's a dummy. Sukihana is a
Lizzo.
dummy.
But can we talk?
Sukihana is a dummy. She's a
Can we talk
dumb
about?
idiot. She's a fool.
That's how you
I
feel.
can't. Can we talk
She's
about
an
though?
idiot. She's
People
stupid.
like, and I know she's white, but Lady Gaga. Gaga is a trained musician who is a
She's an
phenomenal
opera
musician,
singer.
but she comes out looking crazy. I'm like, what are you doing?
That's the clickbait.
Yeah.
It's too much.
That-
It's too much.
Well, you got to talk to your boy
so
Vince
when
about
you
that.
look at when you look at what we have now as opposed to what you had then, this is all I'm going to say. First of all, there is no talent. That's out the door.
Right.
There's no talent. There is no class. That's out the door.
Ain't nothing
There
but
is
ass.
no accountability.
Exactly.
And guess what? And let's be
That
clear
gets
about
old.
that.
That gets
Y'all,
old
if
real
that's
quick.
all, if that's all you got, you're not gonna be here long. You're not gonna be here long. And what I want to say about it is that all the tail in the world doesn't make for a good person.
Mm.
You gotta understand.
Mm.
Your big breast and your big behind doesn't mean you are worthy of a man's hand in marriage.
Talk.
It doesn't mean that. Your ability to put your weave on the right way and color your nails, that doesn't mean you are eligible for the world. That doesn't mean that.
No.
Ask Corinne Steffens. Ask Stacey
Yeah,
Dash.
they just don't have, there's no class to this.
Ask Robin
I
Givens.
don't watch BET and right. I don't watch BET. I don't watch the Grammys no more. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who none of them are.
I'll be lost. I ain't even
I
gonna tell you.
don't. Yeah, I'm like, who the hell is that?
Out of
I
sale.
don't even know who that is. I don't know who that is. And so when I see Sexy Red and Ice Spice and all of them, that Sukihana girl,
What is a musician? I
can't
ain't no musician. I don't do no magic.
I ain't no musician. I don't do no magic. What is a musician? What, I do some magic or something? You
Is that
know,
what she
I'm a mogul.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yo, it's all she
I
got
will send
over
you the
3
video,
million
Tracy.
views of that dumb crap.
I'm not a musician. I'm a mogul. What?
And wait.
You're an idiot.
Stop. Time out. And wait, time out. The girl that was interviewing her was looking at her going, look at this dumb nigga.
And it was a white girl.
And she was white. And this is how she did it, Tracy. She said, what? Sukihana said, well, what do you know about it? She said, well, I know you're a musician. She said, a musician? What is that? Like I do magic or something?
Oh, God.
I'm not a musician. She said, no. She said, Suki, no, you think that I'm a... She said, what think? I don't think. What is thinking?
Right.
I don't think.
Right.
Who thinks?
Right.
Like
right.
you saying something, you
It
dumb
was not
broad. I said, so this is where music is now?
These poor young
So
girls.
this
No,
is where we are?
This is me saying what they said in Medea's Fin reunion. Is this what we paid for?
Is this what we've come for?
Because literally, our ancestors, I feel bad for all the people that had to fight.
Isn't
for
it the
this.
truth? Isn't it the truth?
Because they didn't fight for this.
Not
They
this-
fought for equality,
But
and this is what we think is equal.
This is a
People are
circus.
still people are calling Celine Dion's name because Celine Dion remained classy in everything she did. People are calling Mariah's name, not even realizing that Mariah's half black, most of them, but they see her as this very fair skin. They thought she was white and she could sing with the whistle tones or all that was great. But again, there was still enough of a class that these women sat in a class by themselves. Lena Horne, as light and fair skinned as she was, that was a classy black woman.
Yeah.
Classy black woman, and you could not take that from her.
What was the one black lady who golly, she adopted a lot of kids and ended up moving to Paris. She was known for the banana skirt. This was back like in the 20s.
Yeah.
And what's her name played her in the movie in a biopic. Lynn Whitfield. Lynn Whitfield played her. Oh God.
It wasn't Josephine Baker.
Josephine Baker.
Oh yeah, it was
Yes.
Josephine Baker. Yeah.
Josephine Baker.
Yeah.
Though the
Again,
thing is, you gotta
issues,
a lot of issues, but
a lot.
at the same time, talent.
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy Dandridge.
Oh,
Right.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Class.
Ooh,
Class.
Lord,
Dorothy Dandridge.
that was a fine
And-
black lady.
Can I be honest with you?
Golly.
I got mad because even Halle Berry playing her was like that put Halle at another level for me. I got mad with Halle when she did Monsters Ball.
Yeah, she shouldn't have did it. I really wish
That was
she
right.
had not done that.
It
I
literally
really wish she
tanked her
had
for
not
me.
done that. Yeah, I wish she hadn't done that. I wish she hadn't done it because, to be honest with you, what it did was, and I'm gonna tell y'all. See, Scott, let's pay attention 1 second. Notice how she did Dorothy Dandridge, and then they turned around and put her in Monsters Ball. Them white people did not want that lady.
Yep.
Basically explaining how classy we are. So she had to put him back as a drug addict and a prostitute in a movie
under a
The
white
crazy-
man.
under
crazy
a
part
white
was-
man, bro.
Part was we had already seen her in Losing Isaiah in that role.
In
So
that
we didn't
role, they
need
didn't
to
have to put her back there.
We didn't need no reminder.
She was playing a black woman. She was basically saying, while y'all sitting up there playing around, we got more class by mistake than y'all do on purpose.
On
I'm trying to
purpose.
tell y'all, we are so far beyond what y'all think y'all giving us. And y'all had, but guess what? Yeah, guess what? She got an award for Monsters Ball
And didn't get one for Dorothy Dandridge.
and
Or
didn't
Losing
get one for
Isaiah.
Dark. See what I'm
We
saying?
know why.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
See what I'm saying? Whatever. Hey Tanya, how you doing?
Hey, Tanya.
Big booty
Hi
G.
guys. Hi guys. I'm sorry I'm late.
I just
But
think
it's
that
just-
I just think that it sucks to be a black woman in America right now because y'all don't have a good look. Between these reality TV shows,
TikTok.
between these TikTok, between these artists, between it shows that black women will always be objectified by you're nothing more than just a good time, but nobody's taking you serious. And for me, as a black child that came out of a black woman, who came from a black woman, who has black women in their family, who everybody is educated, and that's not what I come from. So that the version of black that I see today is unfamiliar to me because I don't know nothing about that.
Right.
We didn't speak Ebonics. We didn't have,
Right.
we didn't
Right.
grow up in the hood. And even if you did,
Right.
even if you grew up in the hood, again, our
had
generation,
class.
you had some class.
That's right.
Even if
When
you
you leave this
even if you grew up on Section 8, you ain't have roaches.
All right.
You didn't have, your clothes was clean, your house was
And when you
nice.
leave this house, you represent this house.
When you
Some of
leave
my
here,
friends had the best.
That's
Some,
right.
some of my friends' houses in Section 8 look better than my house in a gated community. And I'm like, now wait a minute. Now hold on. Now what's going on? Like, can we get on
Because-
Section 8?
hey
know what I'm
Brent,
Here's the crazy
Because
the low income houses in Irvine, California, will put mansions to shame.
I can
There's a
imagine.
place over there called Jamboree over there in Irvine, and they have an area where they have low income housing. And when I tell you, you gotta have real reason to go up in there.
Really?
And I'm like, how the heck is? But why? But now I ain't low income housing. I ain't as rich as they think that I am. But I'm sitting up here
I have a
paying all
question,
this
though.
money.
How many of them look like us?
not me.
In there, it's not
Yeah.
a lot. It's not a lot.
Because
That's what I'm saying.
statistically,
People
It's,
forget
And
Section
I'm
8
sorry.
and low income was not made for
it's
us.
two different things. No, not
it's
at all.
predominantly white, first of
Right.
all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Statistically, there are more Caucasian Americans on food stamps in Section 8 than minorities.
Yep.
I will
Yeah.
never forget when I lost my job in Newark, New Jersey, and I went down to try to get unemployment. And I was so embarrassed. It was my first time applying for unemployment. I didn't know what I was doing, but somebody said, "Oh, they fired you. You can get unemployment." I went down there on Broad Street,
Lord
downtown, and
Jesus.
I got on shades, and I'm just like embarrassed. I'm looking around. There was this white woman with a full mink on. She said, "Honey, lift up your head. I do this all the time. Make sure you apply for this, put this on the application, do that, do this, do that, get food
They will
stamps.
teach you.
They're gonna give you this much, they're gonna tell you that. Don't say this, say that, say this, say that." She's like, "I live well and I let the system pay for it." I said, "What in the world?"
And guess what,
Yep.
Brent? They probably offered it to her. We have to struggle for it.
Ain't it the truth?
That part.
We
Homegirl was
had they
fly.
yeah,
And
and
she
guess
came in with a
what?
mink on.
See,
Mink, and
we
I called
see
myself trying to dumb myself down. Like I had on jeans and a t-shirt, like a little regular
You
code or
probably want
yeah.
to
whatever.
adjust to the guys though.
But they want you to come in there like that because not only do you feel degraded having to walk in there, but they want you to look like, okay, when you go in there, don't look like you got no money because they're not gonna offer to you whatever. And here's what I found out, and I was just I had to really pick my own self up. You know, going through hard times is just that. You're going through hard times, all right? So the moment that you're going through the hard times should never be a time when you're embarrassed about going through it, simply because I told one young lady this a long time ago. How dare you question why I don't have money when you ain't never had to use your own?
That part.
Because everything that you have came from somebody else. You didn't work for nothing that you got, and if you got it and you worked for it, it was minimal. For somebody who's literally sitting here and having to go and work for theirs and go out and pull and do and scratch and go and fight and do what I got to do, to hell with you, because at the end of the day, you sitting up here trying to make sure that everybody's just strong enough to make sure you get what you want.
My God.
You know, but you ain't gonna sit up here and do what you need to do. And I tell all these hoes, my bottom line and my problem is that I get sick and tired. Now you said women get objectified, and it is true. There are a lot of women out here who don't deserve what's being portrayed. I'm sorry, I don't believe in that. You know, but I am gonna say this: I'm sick and tired of women believing, as some of them. It's not all of them, but I get tired of people believing that it's okay to sit up there and objectify a man.
My.
You understand what I'm saying? You can't objectify me when you ain't never turned around. You can't tell me how to do nothing you ain't never done before. How dare you sit up there and try to tell me what I need to do as a man, and you ain't never, and every man that has ever dealt with you has only dealt with you when you were on your back. But they never dealt with you when you were standing upright, because guess what? You can't give what you're demanding.
You sound like you got something you want to get off your chest.
No, I'm just talking about. I'm just
Brent,
talking about the fact.
Brent,
And
we're doing good. Chill.
hey. And let me say this: a lot of them go to church.
Oh, that's what most of them at.
A lot of them go to church. And what kills me is your arrogant asses sit up here and y'all try to make it look like y'all got all your stuff together. Let's be clear about one thing: you need to go to therapy too, because you ain't never told nobody that your daddy messed with you.
To all of our
Bruised
viewers,
and broken.
the
You're
church
doing
portion of our live is over. FYI. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, you ain't telling. You're not saying. I'm telling y'all. When we went to see Eddie Griffin, when I tell you, so here's what happened. The short of the story was he was telling a joke and he stopped to get a drink. He said something about what women do with certain aspects, and he turned around and the girl in the audience said, "Ann." He said, "Ann, what you mean, Ann?" She literally opened a door for this man. The stuff he said to this lady, when I tell you, I felt bad for her, because he dug, and I don't, whether he knew her or not, and but he dug so deep, and it wasn't even a comedy show no more. I felt like the whole audience was trying to find this woman to see if she was okay, because he let her have it. But his thing was, don't come to my show acting like that and think I ain't gonna come back on you.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Now, the objectifying, especially we were talking about Ice Spice and Sexy Red and all this other stuff, These women got everybody thinking it's okay to get a man for his money and treat him like dirt.
That's not cool.
And we ain't doing that. And some of the brothers I know waiting on women like y'all. They want you to come to them, you know. So it's not cool that they out here going on. Tanya and I watched what's the girl's name? Victoria Monet and Tiana Taylor. They did this little rendition of Usher's little thing or whatever. And from what I'm told, you know, Victoria Monet is gay and Tiana Taylor is gay, I guess. And they're up here thinking, you know, that it's okay. You got black little girls watching this. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, when they would turn the award shows on, little girls want to go on their dresses and find flowing dresses and dresses with ruffles on them and shiny shoes and, you know, makeup with the gloves on and, you know, that kind of thing. Now these girls thinking you got to wear a diamond clustered thong to be considered relevant. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really like, you know, that's why I'm telling y'all now, I don't watch BET for nothing. That be Tanya wanting to watch that stuff because I don't watch it. I'm
Wait,
like,
hold
I
on
want to
now.
stay there.
Think
You
about
be
it.
watching BET.
I
But
don't. No, I don't.
But you have to get to a place where you're not so arrogant about it. And they're promoting that. They're promoting disorder. They're promoting how not to be married. Because ain't no man want to see his wife up there with her butt out for everybody to see. Like, what is wrong with y'all? You know, it's distasteful.
I was wondering if we were on this subject. I was looking at the subjects at the bottom, and I was like, I wonder if we got the sexy red because that did anybody answer that? I missed it. Why?
They answered it. Brent said it. He said she ain't sexy at all.
Right.
That's what he said.
But is the craze of it is because she's living the way she wants to? Because first of all, we've already gone through that with the world. You know, accept me for who I am. They went from LB, GT, and then we got a Q and a plus and all these other things, and now we're just creating words. I'm pan. I'm like, well, are you a pan that I can fry chicken in, or like what's going on? Like I'm learning these things as I go, and I work in corporate America, so and I have to respect them. You know, I have to respect them for where they are. But is that the reason why? Is that the reason why we're accepting things or people or images and artists like a sexy? I don't understand the craze. And
there's no talent anymore. There's no talent. There's no, you know, they've reached so low in the bucket this time, and there's no talent. There's, you know, when we look, Scott, you and Justin, you know, when we was coming up, you know, our CDs were Quincy Jones and George Duke and, you know, the symphonies and all this other stuff. We were listening to that stuff. I don't know what's on the radio. Like I said earlier, we don't know when these award shows come on. I can't tell you. Taraji Henson was really the only one I really knew.
I don't know the Littles and the Thugs.
I don't know who any of these people are, and they're not real artists. They're not. Tanya, we were talking earlier about like how back in the day you had the Felicia Rashads, Diane Carrolls, Phyllis Hymans, all those people, and you know it was funny if y'all really think about this. The times that these shows used to come on, right? Like Dynasty came on at 9 o'clock on Wednesday.
That was my show.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? You know, 227
evening
and the
soap
Golden
opera.
Girls, 227 and the Golden Girls and Amen came on Saturday between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock.
That's it.
You know, you know, on Sunday nights we didn't know what was on TV because you know we was at church. But then you know,
hold on, before you even go there, let's look at even like we talked about a lot of the women that gave the beautiful roles on TV. So the Diane Carrolls and Felicia Rashad. But let's look at people even like Esther Roll,
who was in Good Times, right?
Broke them up,
right?
But that woman still dealt with class.
Yeah,
Michael, you can't go out there acting stupid. You can't go out there acting crazy. When you talk about Black Jesus, she was like, "I get it, but you can't go out there like that because they'll kill you." Even in Chicago, again, it was still about us being presented in a way of excellence. People got mad with Norman Lear because he literally pulled out of society what society looked like. every piece of the fabric. He dealt with the racists in the Archie bunkers. He dealt with the crazy men like George Jefferson, who then found a way to come. Even
George was a racist, just like Archie was.
That's true.
They were two races.
They were two races, but you had the two wives who brought both of them down to reality. The white wife, the black wife. Edith really never. I mean, Archie, he finally opened up the bar and all that stuff, but Edith really never made it past middle class, if you will. The Jeffersons moved on up to the east side. They moved up to high.
They were richer than the bunkers.
Absolutely, and they literally still dealt with class. I mean, even Florence Johnston, who played a maid, Marla Gibbs played a maid, but when she walked out of the house, she walked out dressed. She had on a coat. She went to church.
Yes, she did.
She told Jefferson off, but she did it in the house. She never did it in public.
He ain't never fired her.
He ain't never fired her. The majority of the time that you saw George Jefferson, he was in a suit. The majority of the time, he was in a suit.
Yep.
You know, Isabel Sanford, she dressed like she wanted. Roxy Roker, she was classier than all of them.
Oh God, Roxy was fine.
Oh God, she was classier than all of them. You know,
Lenny Kravitz's money was bad. Okay,
but they had Mr. Bentley was a doorman. You see what I'm saying? Like
not Bentley.
Ralph was the doorman. Mr. Bentley was the neighbor. But they had it like everybody came to the Jeffersons. The Jeffersons wasn't going to everybody else,
including H.O. Whittendale.
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
So, is it because we're accepting this, and that's the reason why it's happening? Is it because some people are accepting now? Then there's a wave of acceptance. Now, I have no problem with anything. Now, I ain't got a problem with how you want to have your sexual. It is what it is. But I mean, like what's the name? Eddie Griffin say the other day. I want to do a parade for just heterosexuals.
Just heterosexuals. So they had their own parade.
In the bedroom is what you do in the bedroom. Now we celebrate everybody who's doing stuff in the bedroom. Okay, but my thing is with like Sexy Red. Is it because there's a certain amount of people that are accepting her, and so now there's a wave of accepting this, and like you said earlier, Kevin. It's the bottom of the totem pole, and now it's like anything here. This is high level, but anything down here, you can just do whatever you want to, and we're gonna accept it.
Listen. Let's say it this way.
There is no bar anymore.
There's number one. There's no bar. Number two, I want to tell y'all something, and this is so serious. I'm a hip hop lover. Like I, especially West Coast. I lose my mind over it. But I did some homework and I found something out. When that young man from the Migos died. When he passed away, and they murdered him over a crap game.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even over they murdered him. His death, the record label got $450 million after he died.
Yep. Life insurance policy.
$450 million. So he was worth more to them dead than alive.
That's right. And they gonna make
Here's what I'm finding out. The majority of these hip hop, there's a difference between rap and hip hop. There's a difference. I want y'all to understand something.
Absolutely.
These hip hop artists are worth more dead than alive. But the reality of it is that what they're doing right now, listen, Ice Spice, Sexy Red, all these other cats, when I tell you, there is nothing, the only rappers that are out right now, not hip hop artists, but the rappers that are out right now are J. Cole and Drake. J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. This generation, those are the two that we're looking at right now. Right? They're not of the system. So a lot of what they do is always on a side where they cannot be touched because of the side that they're on. They don't follow these rules that everybody else follows. So she just said, are we just accepting it? Here's the deal. It's accepted by the people who are dumb enough to follow it. Because the reality of it is, those of us who really know what real hip hop or real rap is, we don't follow. This is trash to us. We don't, matter of fact, they're not even really talking about anything. They're not talking
No.
about anything.
No.
So have we accepted it? No. It's just that anybody that you see in the game right now that is successful as it pertains to, you look at what they're doing. Ice Spice, that girl can't rap to save her life, but she's known to be whatever. But it's because of who she's with. She's on that other side. She's on the side where everything she's doing is because she's being told to do it.
Yep.
So this is just accepted because of the fraternity or sorority that they're in. But it's not about talent. It's
They're
not about
industry
gifts. It's none of that.
Yeah.
So
But
they're
can we
not
even
going
talk
to.
about that with us now? All of us on here are in music somehow or another. We were mentored by people to know what to do, to know what not to do, to what to accept, what not to accept. The problem is now they're being mentored by the almighty dollar. What is going to make you money? Not what's going to keep you in longevity, but what's going to
That's
make you
good.
money. The problem
Right
is
now.
that they're making the money like right now, and then they're spending the money right now. So in 10 years, what do you have? MC
They're
Hammer all over
strippers.
again.
They're strippers.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're strippers.
It's sad.
That's what they're strippers. I love Cardi B to death, but the reality is Cardi B is not
Well, she
somebody
was one.
that. Why is this dude calling? So Cardi B is not somebody. I love her because of her attitude. She's from our area, but I love her because she just don't. She's like, I'm gonna get it
She doesn't
and
care.
I'm gonna do what I want to do with it. But she doesn't. She's not a situation where she's personifying excellence in her words and,
Right.
and whatever. Now pay attention. So you see J. Cole, right? J. Cole is considered to be one of the greatest, rappers of this generation. But if you notice, J. Cole ain't really visible.
Yeah.
If you pay attention, you don't see J. Cole on a lot of stuff. He's doing records and he's but he's about substance, right? But then you look at all these other idiots, right? Like back in the day, X Clan and Arrested Development and all them cats, they was all
Right.
out, and the hip hop game was different. So you was gonna get some real black. Yeah, they gonna talk. They talked about issues. They were not popular, but
Yeah.
then came there came 85, 95 South, and Two Live Crew, and you
Right.
saw them every
Live.
week.
Yeah.
Every week, because they were appealing to
thing
the
changed.
addiction.
Yeah.
They're appealing to addictions. You know why Ice Spice and Sexy Red all them getting attention? Because they women showing their tails. They women they're objectifying and they're making y'all look objectified.
Yeah.
So they showing their tails. They showing half their breasts out. They over here cussing or whatever. So the man is going, I ain't never bringing her home, but for wherever I meet her at, I could do whatever and I'll be out. Because she's not somebody that I'm going to have to be responsible with, not for. She's somebody I don't have to be responsible with. So are we accepting it? The music industry is so jacked up right now. They're accepting it, but I'm not. They ain't none of them chicks. I also watched a video on YouTube one time, and I just wanted to see what all the hype was about. And when I saw them girls standing in front of Popeye's Chicken doing that daggone video with that microphone hanging from that truck roof, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know that one. We're going back into the days of the Chitlin circuit.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Literally.
With
Y'all
that.
keep talking.
And
That's
truth
what
be
it is.
told, though, the
We
chitlin circuit
coons.
set a standard for our people. And even forget the coonery. It set a standard for our people when it came to business. Because we now eventually we saw what the white folks did. And I mean, you think about the Della Reeses and the Red Foxes. People talk about Red Fox all the time, but Della Reese, when he died, she said people wanted to know why he died broke because he saw that his people were struggling. He gave more than he made. Yeah, he had some tax issues and all that stuff too, but he gave so much of his money back to his community. Nowadays, we got our folks that don't want to give back to our communities, they run away from it. You don't have the Shaquille O'Neals anymore coming back to their hometown, Brick City, going to Newark and building a cityplex for the people in his community so they don't have to drive 12 miles to get to the next theater. They can go right in town to a movie theater that's kept clean at all times, fully stocked at all times with all the current movies at a reasonable price. You don't have people doing that anymore. And so that Chitlin circuit, we learned a lot from them.
Bring the history, Scott. Bring the history.
You know, y'all,
Even-
I'm a history lover. I love this stuff.
Even when it comes down to, I was reading something recently about Louis Vuitton, and how they used to have a circus where they showcased Black people. They kidnapped Black people and they used them as a freak of nature. They were a part of the Freak of Nature show, a part of the thing.
I recently saw that, and you know, I got my Louis stuff, but I ain't buying no more.
Let me tell me, Scott, and when I tell you I have too much Louis,
You should give me
sell
one.
all of it.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
But we as Black people, again, we are the last educated generation.
You right.
We the last one. We the ones that's woke. These children don't know what it's like to really experience struggle. You know, y'all got this Me Too movement. What about us that has had to grow up in that movement?
Right. A struggle for them is no Wi-Fi connection.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I remember when the first cell phone came out.
How about that?
You want to go
Listen,
back
I
that
got a
far?
better one for you. When I was in the
had
classroom,
audio box.
I used to have my kids cracking up. I said, I remember in 1993 when the Empire State Building and the World Trade Center, they attacked both of those buildings. In the World Trade Center, they had a bomb in a car underneath.
In a car, that's right.
To level the building. And I remember when cable went out, and I got so mad. I came home. My mother was like, "Boy, shut up! It's gonna come back. They're gonna get it together." Little did we know that 8 years later, we were going to see those buildings. They figured it out. It only took them 8 years, but they figured it out, and they brought those buildings down. And I said to my students, I said, listen, even now, the kids that are there at the school where I work now, they weren't even around in 2001. I said, I remember when that happened, one of the substitute teachers came running into my classroom and said, did anybody hear that planes went into the World Trade Center? And we were like, this man makes up stuff anyway. Turn to the computer, jump on Yahoo, because Google didn't even exist. Jump on Yahoo, and they got a picture of Tower 1 with a plane hanging out of it. And I was like, y'all, he's not lying, and this ain't no little plane. This is a full 747. Something is not right. And so the PA comes on, my principal, and he tells us to go to our classrooms. He said, wait there, and we will make the announcement when it's time to dismiss. My mother happened to work there. I went to her office. She said, your principal made the announcement. You follow the principal's announcement, and when they dismiss, then you come back here, and we're going home. We left school, and Kevin knows what my school is. We left Passaic County Tech, driving down Preakness Ave Hill. It felt like the apocalypse had come, and that God forgot about me. I said, you do not know what desolation feels like. You don't know what it feels like to be in a world full of people and still feel alone because of the unknown. I said, everybody ran to church that night. When the church opened and said, we have a prayer, everybody went to church.
When I tell you I gave my life to Christ, I rededicated my life that day.
For real, because you just did not know. You might have to go back down again. Because we just didn't know. But that was a struggle for us to like pull life back together. And even now, I'm going over there next week because we're doing a big thing for 9/11 at school. So we're going over to Ground Zero to get some pictures and stuff. I said, even now, just getting myself together to go over there, it still feels surreal. These kids, like Tracy just said, these kids, oh, the Wi-Fi went out. Oh my God, my life is over. Really?
Bro, when Facebook and Instagram went out, and everybody lost their minds. But I'm gonna tell you this. The other thing was you felt like you was alone, but the reality of it was my mother was in Japan and couldn't come home because they had shut all the planes down. Nothing was going in the United States. Nothing was coming out, and my mother was stuck in, I think it was either Osaka or Tokyo. She was stuck in one of them, but they grounded every flight. And you talk about nervous, man. I was living in California then. I was like, I don't care what's going on. I don't want my mother being in the midst of this.
Right.
And but now when you really think about it, we felt like third world countries at that point.
Because we were.
Right.
We were.
Because we literally were. Like we were a third for that, however many days that it took us to really see what happened, figure out what happened, and they still was lying about who did what. But the reality of it was we became a third world country. But what I did not know was that one of the people who took over the plane and flew it into a building was a female.
Yes, sir. Hey, Kev, did you know this? Kev, did you know this? That some of them actually lived on Union Avenue in Patterson?
I found that out.
Borough Chrysler was no longer exist up behind William Patterson. After they went into William Patterson the Student Center to get a blueprint of what the World Trade Center looked like and to figure out how to get the schematics of the plane. Then they flew to Florida, went down into Cape Canaveral. They went to the airline training school and said, we want to learn how to fly a plane. And they said, okay. And they said, don't worry about landing. We just want to learn how to fly it. That should have been a red flag right there. Then they came back to New Jersey. Yeah. They were sleeping on pallets in a house on Union Avenue. They went back to Borough. They leased 2 cars, drove them over to Newark Airport, got on those planes, and the rest is history.
Them probably was the same niggas that killed Malcolm X.
Well, those were his own people.
Stupid. Yeah, Malcolm X people in Newark, right? But I think one of the biggest things about all of that is that when you listen to this stuff, again, you guys have said it about 15 times, and every time you say it, it intensifies even more. We are the last generation of all of this knowledge. We're the last ones because what's going to happen now is that, first of all, people believe anything they see on the internet now.
That's the truth.
They believe what we had to do back when I was coming up in school, you had to go to the library. You had to pull out microfiche. You had to go and you had to Scott, what is the name of the numeral system? The Dewey system.
The Dewey Decimal System.
Dewey Decimal System. We had to
you had to know it.
You had to know that to find a damn book.
Right.
You know
what was reference? What
was reference? What was conclusive?
Fiction, what was non-fiction?
What was not? When they said this is a biography, I was like, what the hell is that? But we had to know it because, you know, and Justin, I went to 289 Brooklyn. I went to Pilgrim Christian Academy, Royal Brown School, and then I told you I went to IS 391, which was now Mahalia Jackson School. And I that was some of the most disruptive classes I had ever been in. But these kids were so doggone smart. I could not believe there was a kid named Sheldon Troutman who had the greatest penmanship that he got an award from the city of Brooklyn for his penmanship. I don't know how intelligent he was, but that nigga could write something. He was so astounding with his penmanship that you didn't care, even if a word was spelled wrong, which it wasn't. His family was from Trinidad, and they were very strict with their kids. And his penmanship was unbelievable. And him and another kid named Jamal Prince, they both got awards for their penmanship, both of them. And I was like, well, I'm neat too, but my stuff be wrong most of the time, so I ain't gonna get no award because I'm still trying to figure out what 10 plus 10 is. But they got awards for that. And these days, don't nobody write no more.
No, they don't. Here's a funny story. I have a step nephew who went in my parents' basement and saw a regular house phone. He paused, he grabbed somebody, he said, "What is that?"
Oh.
He didn't even know what it was. They said that's a phone. He was like, "Why does it look like that?" He didn't even know what a house phone looked like.
Wow.
What a little tink.
Oh.
and I guess
I had my best phone sex on a landline.
Oh Lord.
Oh God. I'm just saying. Honey, you ain't had phone sex till you had it with a phone with a cord. I can't get no help in this building. I can't get no help. Y'all gonna leave me out here by myself like Frida Louise Watson but that's all
Hey,
right.
I'm with you. How about them days you used to be on the phone till the sun came up with that cord dwindling under your door?
Oh, okay.
And
Oh my
waking up
Lord.
snobby purple. Hey,
And your mama come
Scott,
and say, "Get off the phone."
get off that phone. No. I hope my mother ain't on here now. She was on here earlier. I'm talking about them days where it was on one phone in the house with that long cord, and you had to wait till your mother went to sleep so you can get it.
Ooh.
Girl,
That's
right?
gonna be my post
Right under the
tomorrow. You ain't had phone sex till you did it on a landline.
What?
That was good church.
God help.
I can't. All right, we're
Oh,
gonna move to the next thing because Brent ready. He don't have the edible now. He ready now.
My God, I feel
Um,
the presence of the Lord.
I
so
want to say
I
something
was
real quick before you do that. I don't know what you cooking over there, Brent, but the last time you made some deviled eggs, the very
Brent. Do
next
you
day,
know this girl went and made some deviled eggs because of you,
She should have.
the
So
very next day.
tomorrow is the 4th of
Justin?
tomorrow is the
We're
4th
gonna
of
talk
July.
about that, Brent. Hold on, Justin.
Yeah.
Tanya sent me a text and said, "I need you to look at what I'm doing." I mean, about 6 or 7 deviled eggs in this picture. And I said, "Why are you doing?" She said, "Brent made me want some."
He was tearing them up, man. He was tearing
He
them up.
was.
So quiet as it's kept, I love to cook, right?
Me too.
And I make everything from scratch, right? So tomorrow is the 4th of July. So we're gonna have a few people over, unbeknownst to me, and against my better judgment, but be that as it may. So I am right now, my potato salad is already done. I have the ribs on the grill. I have the chicken on the grill right now. And so right now I'm just finishing the baked beans. Well, I'm about to start the baked beans, and then tomorrow I will do my macaroni and cheese.
You do it in
And
my.
God bless
Okay,
you.
that's good.
Is that all
I
right?
love it.
Tanya, hold on one second.
Like,
Brent, you are in Houston. I've been
am.
meaning to ask you.
You talking about the
There was-
STDs?
oh God. There was a post
jeez.
that went up that said that there was over 42,000 cases
42,000. Yeah.
of different STDs, but the main one was HIV.
Yeah.
What is going on over there?
I don't know because I only sleep with one person. So see, you have to you got to get that hold.
Oh, y'all ready? Because here it comes.
You got to get that.
Like,
Here's the
here
thing.
you go.
Here's the thing. If everybody stopped trying to be content creators, we wouldn't. And if more people went to the doctor, we wouldn't have this calamity and this high rise of stuff. All of a sudden. You mean to tell me one person can't satisfy your need? You got to have all these threesomes and orgies and menage a trois. That's how stuff gets started. That's how stuff gets spreaded. And I get having a good time, but I don't know what they got going on over here because I have a different life. First of all, I don't have time to be, because there's new diseases out here. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff
New
we
and
ain't have to
improved.
deal with
New and improved.
in the 90s. When I was really reckless. I didn't have to worry about some of this stuff. But nowadays, it's these young kids who's just nasty. It's nasty.
When I tell you, it's the old people too, because Eddie Griffin. Speaking of Eddie Griffin, he said he had. First of all, he looks like a disabled thumb. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. He said he had 12 kids, 12, and he also
Did she
said
say
that
disabled thumb?
yeah,
That's what she said.
and then he said he don't use no protection.
He did say that. He
said,
said, I got 12 kids and I go bear is what he said.
That's exactly the words.
And he said, I go bear. He said, but I got 12. He said, and I made enough money. I can afford all of them. That's what he said.
And see, these are the people, these are the people that this generation is listening to. Well, if he doing it, I can go and do it. And here we are. We back to the 1980s when the AIDS
These are they
epidemic
which have come out of great tribulation.
You see, the problem I have with these colors nowadays is
it's always
every time,
all the colors.
Every time we get somewhat progressed, there's always a coon that brings us 50 years back.
You're right.
That's right.
You're right.
Sexy
Always.
Red, Sukiana, Ice Spice.
They don't want to be free.
Like I said
What's-
before, we could learn so much from the Chitlin circuit because of the way they took care of their community, bolstered the community. These fools now ain't trying to do that.
No.
Yeah. Well, Kendrick Lamar turned around and did something that the cops couldn't do, the country couldn't do, some black activists couldn't do. He brought together two of the most prominent gangs in the history of the United States.
The Bloods
And
and the
he had
Crips.
both the Bloods and the Crips sitting up on stage, dancing with each other, holding hands, putting their flags together, pulling them apart, saying we ain't in this no more, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm going to have to say that, again, Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, those are the now generations that I believe people love Kendrick's. They love the beats. Of course, Dr. Dre had a lot to do with that, so happy about that. But his lyrics and stuff, he's very influential, and Kendrick Lamar will make you think.
Kendrick
J. Cole
Lamar
will make you
is
think.
this generation's Kendrick Lamar is this generation's version of James Brown.
James Brown in the music, but let me say who he also is. If we're talking about that vein, he is this now generation's KRS-One. That's who he is.
Oh, absolutely.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
who he
Press
is.
one.
Absolutely.
If he literally said, if we had to put him up against anybody, we would say that he's KRS-One of the now
For
generation.
sure.
That's
I
exactly
agree.
who
For
he
sure.
is. That's exactly who he is. Because to this day, can't nobody touch that brother right there.
Nope.
No.
To this day.
No.
You know.
Because he's
and, you know,
educated.
well, he's educated, and then he's also he's educated to a point where literally he's like, you know, he's in a class by himself. You can't touch him.
For sure.
Like, you don't have a class for him. There's everybody else, and then there's him. You know, KRS-One was like that. So,
But can we talk about what can we talk about what KRS-One stood for?
As far as what?
Did anybody know?
Come on, history.
The acronym? Did anybody know what it stood for?
Come on, Scott, because I don't know. Help me out.
Knowledge reigns
Wait a
supreme
minute.
over nearly everybody.
Everybody. But see, here's the funny thing about that. When he got that name, I remember when, what's the name of the joint, Kev? You're looking right at the label. What is the name of the label? You're looking right at it. I can't remember the name of the label. He was going under another name because Boogie Down Productions, they did not want to sign them at all.
Boogie Down Productions.
But when he said, all right, fine, because DJ Scott LaRock, Scott LaRock got shot when we moved to Haledon Avenue. He got shot like the day after we moved there. When he got shot, Def Jam wanted to take KRS-One. And so they asked him what that name meant, and they told him, don't use it.
Don't use it.
He was getting ready to be somebody else, and they was like, yo, don't use that name. Just think. Now, if you're going to do anything, take this and run with it.
Yep.
And these churches do this, but let me not ream on them so much.
Oh, Lord.
Don't think for 1 minute that just because you are different, it means that you're unnecessary.
Yeah, that's good.
Because what you have to
It just came
understand
back to me.
is
It was Scott LaRock and the Celebrity 3.
Celebrity 3, exactly. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And KRS-One was not the premier guy. It was Scott LaRock that was.
It was Scott LaRock.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But when they started listening, thank you, Marlon. Thank you. It was Tommy Boy. Thank you.
Go to
When they
bed,
started
Heidi.
listening to KRS-One is when they started kind of, because now Scott LaRock became a DJ. He wasn't the premier guy no more. And they was like, yo, we're gonna take this way. And he literally Avery, you need to get your Wi-Fi fixed. Something wrong with your phone.
I was about to say, what just happened?
But he literally was like, yo, I'm gonna be the one to basically go ahead and take it upon myself to keep this Boogie Down Productions thing going on. And next thing you know, he don't went so far beyond. And I didn't know he was married to Miss Melody too. I didn't know they was married, but she passed away. I felt so bad about that. But my point is that Tanya asked earlier, are we just accepting it? Yes. The people are just accepting this now because it's more about money than talent. It's more about money than wholesomeness and speaking about something. Y'all remember back in the day? Y'all remember back in the day where you didn't have a record deal if you wasn't talking about something? So y'all remember when Queen Latifah was who you calling a BITCH? You had X Clan, you had Public Enemy, you had Run DMC, you had what was the name of that other group? Force MD, not Force MDs, Force MDs, yeah. You had the Force MDs, you had all these other cats that at one point, if you wasn't talking about being black, if you wasn't talking about being educated, if you wasn't talking about, you know, being in a position where you can, you know, knowledge is power and all, they never gave you a record deal.
That's true.
That was back in the late 80s. They never gave you a deal. They was like, if you ain't talking about nothing, we ain't talking about nothing. You know, go ahead.
I think it started probably before this, but right now it's the only thing I can think of when trap music started coming in, because it wasn't really a craze until people on the internet started making it was a craze, and then they started adding more trap artists.
And guess what, Tanya? They really thought they was doing something, but them trap sounds that they talking about, that was the SB12. Those was those rolling 808 drum machines, and they really thought they was doing something. They was reaching back 40 years. We had already had, when the SB12, first of all, the SB12 looked like a big giant mainframe. And when you put that thing down, the snares and everything, yo, Jermaine Dupri and all of them, they still using sounds from back when the Sugar Hill Gang came out.
Wow.
They were still using that stuff because now, listen, y'all, this is just music history. But they were using what worked 30-something years previously before they came out. They was using that. Hey, that snare that Rick James had, Mary J. Blige uses it on Love Is All We Need. It's the same freaking snare.
And to the girl
that's
in
back
the back,
when Busting Out
who I
came out.
am. I'm Rick James.
Don't you say it. Let Brent say it. But they literally were using the same sounds. So they're not doing anything but they think they're reinventing the wheel when they ain't even near the car. Like you guys don't, y'all don't really know what y'all doing. So Sexy Red and all these other women, you know what they are? They are glorified X-rated models. Yeah, that's all they are.
We're gonna put a model on the back of that? Okay.
Well, I'm just saying.
I put the word model.
Well, okay, they're X-rated members. They're X-rated women. That's what they are, because they not talking about nothing. And to look at where we come from.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
To see where we come from: Queen Latifah, Moni Love, Lady of Rage, MC Light, Salt and Pepper. Sir. You know what I'm saying? When we looking at, you know, a TLC, and when we look at where we came from, we and our stuff is 30 years old now, and you can put it on and sound like they just did it yesterday.
That's right.
Listen, how many people still walking around singing Waterfall?
I mean, to this day, I had a little encounter the other day. I still think this group is phenomenal too. I just feel like, and Justin, are you still on here? Justin, are you still on here? So we had a place called Lolo's out in Vegas. We had went out to eat. You know, Tanya and I'll jump and do spontaneous crap in a minute. Like, we could be sitting here now. We'll be like, we're going to San Diego. We'll be back. And we'll leave. Twice. So we went to Lolo's. Went over there, sat down. I'm at the table. Tanya goes, "Oh, look who's over there." And I said, "Who?" She said, "That's SWV." So where? Now in my mind, I'm like, "Let me go see my sisters."
Right.
You already know where this is going. I go to get up. I walk over to the table, and they looked at me like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, it's good to see y'all." I said, you know, I didn't know y'all was here." She was like, "Oh, okay. Well, you know, who you play with now?" I was like, Maze and Frank Belly. She was like, "Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's nice to see you."
No.
Wow. No, she said, no, she said, he's retiring, right?
Oh, what? She telling me, Frank, hold on. She's telling me Frankie retiring like I'm lying to her about who I play with.
No.
I said, okay.
And so when
problem.
the
good thing was Coco was not there. She was not there. She's not a part of none of this. She was not there.
But when
I made a phone call.
Oh, go ahead.
What was you gonna say?
I said when Kevin came back, I said don't worry about it. I said, because you're gonna see you next week at the Essence Fest. I said, make sure you go and see both of them, as you were walking onto the stage.
And the person that I called said they might see you. And I said, why you say they might see me? He said, because they're not going to be on the main stage. You will.
Oh wow.
They won't. So we don't know how they're going to see you. But if they do,
That's
when you see them,
crazy.
you go, you speaking now? Oh, okay. You know, well,
Look
and just
at
keep
your
walking.
face.
Now, I said, well, he know who I talk to. But I said, I don't understand. Why act like I took your money before? I was really good enough to make y'all sound great, because without Coco, you all are nothing.
Well,
but let's be clear. So I said, okay, no problem.
The
I
only
said,
singer is Coco.
Now here's the reality. The reality of it is, I already know. Yes, Justin. Yeah. Yeah. And he laughed so bad. He was like, yo, without a certain somebody, they ain't nobody. Like, you know, we not.
The only singer is Coco, and even she's pitchy.
Yeah. So I just said, now that brings me to my point. Here you are, and first of all, you're at Lolo's. You're not at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant or nothing like that.
Right.
So
eating Wagyu.
So for right, like, you know, this is not a real filet mignon. Like, we're not eating that. We're eating waffles and chicken. Like, calm down. And no strapping this Lolo's at all, because I'll go there as much as I have to, because the food is excellent.
But everybody calm down.
My point is, everybody, just relax. Because guess what? I'm walking up in there, you don't see me acting like that. And guess what? Who I'm with was here way before your mama was.
Ooh.
So you don't see me acting like that. You don't see me acting like that. But y'all had 5 hits, of which you wrote none of them. But okay, that's fine.
You said SWV did this to you?
The other two minus Coco.
It was the other without Coco. I don't want to say their names, but it was the other two.
Yeah.
But I think
Taj
it's, to
and
me,
the other one.
see what I'm saying? I didn't say that.
You know, I don't like none of them. I feel like all of them got IEPs.
But my point is that when you really get to the brass tacks of it, like, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. We are all like, this is why we can't get along in certain things, because we gotta act like
this
that.
is why
you
we
ain't no
can't
better
go
than me.
up.
And guess what? If I really wanted to, I could do everything that y'all been trying to do with 3 people. I could do by myself. I don't need 3 people to make a group for me. I just put out 5 songs in the last month. I don't need your help.
First of all,
Listen,
I know.
Can we say that you have
basic
taken a lesson
church
from Stevie
girls that
Wonder,
sing.
because you literally are doing everything right now? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep doing it. You know why?
You
Because
try to be
at
so
the end of
humble.
the day,
Kevin, shut up.
no, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, I tell
He's
y'all
so
again,
humble you don't
Tracy,
pronounce the H. He humble.
He want to be so humble.
But Tracy, we was out there when Stokely was sitting there with that man on that bucket. They mint condition. These boys is out on the corner on the dirtiest street in the city, and they out there singing with this man with 2 strings on his guitar. And I mean, they just going at it. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's what you do when it's about music.
Yeah, because you don't know, that man could win the lottery tomorrow, and he'd have got you everything you wanted that you couldn't get as somebody who's more known than he is. You know what I'm saying? You got to be. And I heard this man say it, but I'm gonna say it. He said, "I can tell what kind of person you really are when I see how you treat people that you feel you don't need."
Yes, that's good.
But didn't most of them sleep their way up to the top?
All right, so let's move on to this next phase.
I have a question.
We're
going to this. So last week it was so funny because Brent had said he was not gonna stay on. He said, "I'm not staying on late. You ain't doing that to me." And then I ended up falling asleep. I just want to know, was I snoring?
You were.
Tanya, why are you asking that? Why are you asking that?
And
why are you asking?
I was just trying to turn the corner, baby.
You turn the corner. You only cry. You only snored when Kevin called you. It was quiet.
You was tired.
It was quiet. He was like, Kevin's like, Tanya. You like, quiet. Tanya. I was like, no, she's got to be faking. Like,
So only when he called my name.
only when he called
Oh,
your name.
must have missed that.
Which lets me know that you're very good. You ignore me even in your sleep.
Very
No, that
well.
means she
No,
only
that was
responds to your voice.
Thank you. I was getting ready to say that.
Brent,
It's just me responding to
Brent,
what I
you're
know
only
is
saying
familiar.
that because you sat next to her at a show.
I'm a
That's all
stick
you're
by
saying.
Tanya.
That's all. You're only doing that because you sat by her
It's all
at
right.
a show.
I like this
And he
one.
know-
I didn't like
and
the
he-
other 5.
Oh,
Now don't make me call your number.
Have
You see how you got to
mercy.
rebuke that devil?
that was
hey, Brent,
Huh?
you the only nigga that could do that though. You do understand that, right?
We got
Ain't nobody else do that.
We got history.
You the only one. You the only one.
Not a thought in
Is
my brain.
anybody else? I would have had a feed right about now.
I
But
know.
anyway, yeah. Speaking of which, I got to tell y'all, I did something. I literally looked at and since you want to hit that area of Tracy, you ain't said nothing much, but I'm gonna get to you too in a minute. You ain't talked. You ain't said nothing.
That punch is loading. It's loading.
Yeah, it is. She gonna uppercut Brent tonight. She's not gonna tell him what he did yesterday.
Best friend.
I ain't got no
Best
more.
friends last week.
I'm tapped out.
I really realized that a lot of the relationships and stuff that some of us have been through. I say this with all due respect, and even if they don't deserve it, I'm a respectable person, so I'm still going to say it. But there were a lot of people who did not deserve us, and we kept giving ourselves to them based on the notion that, they'll come around. They'll eventually get it. They'll eventually see what I'm worth. They'll eventually pay attention to how good I am, But the real truth is that, and I married some of them, but there were a lot of people who thought they could handle us because this is so true. We kept meeting them where they were, but they didn't have enough gas to come up to where we were.
Wow.
That was good.
And what I found out was that you literally have spent a lot of time trying to educate people on how to treat you that weren't even in that class.
Mm-hmm.
So they had no reason to do the homework because they weren't in that class. And all I'm saying is that when you know who you are, you'll know who you let around you.
That's right.
So I let a lot of broken people around me because I was broken. But when I found out that my brokenness came from me not understanding how whole I was, I didn't say perfect. I just said that I realized how profound I was. When I started doing that, my speech changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't tell you, now I don't tell you how cute you are. I tell you how cute I think you are.
My.
There's a difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I keep telling you you cute and you go, oh, I know, but you're really not cute, I'm lying to you. But if I tell you you are good looking or you're cute, but you got some problems right here, and it's getting in the way of what I see in you. Yeah, you pretty, but you ugly right here. And I didn't realize that. So now that I'm in a better place, Brent.
Thank you, Jesus.
Now that I understand, the reality of all of this is that just because you see me on stage doesn't mean you can handle me. As a matter of fact, I'm not what I do. That's not who I am. That's just what I do. That's not who I am.
What
So
you do, Kevin?
God had to put somebody there that knew what I was talking about, and and they know
We
how to
honor
talk to
you,
me,
Tanya.
and they know how to, and
I
they
don't know
know
what
how
to
to,
do.
And it's so funny. Ain't it funny how so many people want to call you and be like, "Oh, I ain't know that was your girlfriend."
Lord have mercy.
That lets me know that you wanted to be, but you can't.
Wow. You know, this podcast just takes so many different turns.
It
I
really
don't.
does.
Every
I
week.
just don't really. I can never be prepared.
Oh my God, you are a part of it, okay? So please.
Yes. And guess what? We are at 2 hours and 29 minutes. We doing good, y'all.
We are
We
doing
doing
well
good.
tonight.
And I'm
Now
awake.
I want to tell y'all something. I'm on the East Coast.
I will say
so
the
I'm
first
on y'all's
45 minutes
time.
was worship, though.
It really was.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Y'all missed that.
Dang.
Yeah, y'all missed that. That was
Whew, that was
and
good.
Brent preached tonight. I think instead of
He
playing the
did.
game, I need to go ahead and give you the offering tonight, Doc, because
For real.
I think you and God played basketball this morning. Y'all did something.
You know, I
That
just want
was
people to be saved for real. And let's stop. Let's stop playing with this thing, and let's really mean God. That's really my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
for someone who grew up, here we go again. All right, Lord, let's go. For somebody who grew up with knowing what church is like, it's like I don't know this church. I don't know. I don't know these
Right.
niggas. Who is this? This ain't what I. This ain't
it's
what
like
I.
the Grammys. We don't know who these people
Right.
are.
We don't know
Ooh, right.
Paul. I know Jesus. I know, but who the hell are you?
Right.
You know. So I just
Who the
don't.
hell
And
are
my
you?
thing
Who
is,
the hell? Sorry.
who
Who the
the
hell are you?
who the hell are
Who the hell are
you?
you?
But that's all. You know. And when you are a lover of people for real,
Yeah.
it's like
Don't
the
you just
wine that
love
said
people,
it.
Brent? Don't you love people?
I love people.
No. It
I
took
love
too long
people.
to answer. It took him an
It
hour
really
to answer.
did.
You
He had
know,
to think
the
about that.
the older I get, the more my tolerance is low. Y'all pray for
Yeah.
me that I be the person he's calling for in these last and evil days. However, it's just I just want people to stop playing. And we gotta
Yeah.
stop sitting under manipulators. Oh God. Oh,
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
we gotta stop sitting under these niggas that really don't believe what they preaching. And you just teaching me something because you need a check and you too lazy to go get a real job with
Help us,
benefits.
God.
And the only thing that your wife is concerned about is she can still go to Neiman's and buy lubricants that's on sale. Ooh,
Ooh, I want to say something about something so bad,
ooh,
but I don't know who's gonna watch this. So I'm
that
gonna
really
let it
kind
go.
of.
But you're
Ooh, that
right.
was hard.
Just say it. Just say it. This is my show. They gonna
Oh,
come after me. You know, people come after me for what other people say.
they do. They do. They do.
We'll have a conversation about that in the post.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do
Yeah.
that. Let's talk about that.
I got
That's
some. I
because
got
that's the
some
real
stuff to tell
show.
y'all.
Oh yeah, you got something about
Tracy, there you go again. You just sitting there
that
smiling. You ain't saying
No, that's smirk.
We
Tracy building up a list.
we have to build up our community. Like I said it earlier, we are the last generation that know what this real sanctified life is. You know,
And to be honest with you, we have to stop putting I think somebody said it. Brent may have said it earlier. We gotta stop putting our trust in these people. They're people just like we are, right? And I think Justin said it earlier. Your flaws is no different than my flaws. My flaws may be different, but they're still the same weight. Like I'm still human. I'm still going to mess up. I'm still not going to get it right. So I think we get so surprised when somebody
surprise,
is called.
I think
Right.
we get surprised because they make us feel like your sin is sin, but my sin is holy.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
I'm with you on that one. I'm not gonna lie. I was very surprised. We don't know exactly what it was, and we're not gonna speculate, Brent. But what is his name? He just sat down for an old sin that he said he. What's his
You know, the
name?
Lord will give me spiritual insight.
Yeah, I know. I want you to shut up, though.
He talks to me.
What's his name? I love him to death.
Tony Evans.
Tony Evans,
Tony Evans.
right? And so I just like we get surprised, like what you did, you did it, but you have to remember again, he is human. I'm not saying he is right or wrong. I'm just saying he's also human. So we have to stop putting, and it makes me correct myself when it comes to who I put my trust in. I need to put my trust in God, and that's it, right? And wherever God leads me, wherever he got, if he tells me go to a church where both the pastor and his wife are wearing ankle bracelets because they're on probation, then guess what? Maybe that's where I gotta be. But if he tells me to leave, then I gotta leave. Kevin, shut up.
So that means you need to leave where you currently sing. Got it.
I don't sing there. I sing in the car when we're going from one church to another. With
right.
Kevin. That's it. Justin's mouth was wide open. We're all Justin. Shh. All right. So now moving on. Tracy, what was you saying?
What a narrative.
I'll deal with you later because there's a people that is assigned to your voice that you need to open your mouth to and stop letting past hurt and bad experiences hold you back.
Ooh.
Okay, next.
He's on it today. We went left. Was that my
Oh God. Yes.
Right.
The moment you open your mouth,
The oil is flowing tonight.
We'll see. That is when you will see all the promises that you've been waiting for. So next, what's going on?
Brent, did you have extra virgin olive oil in that cup?
No. But you know, I can bounce in and out of different areas of my life.
I know you can bounce. I got video of that.
I knew it was coming.
That's how I pay bills. You know what I'm saying? That's how I pay bills.
I've been working on it. I've been like, okay, he went left 2,
it's
4,
okay.
3. Okay.
You
let's stay here for a minute. So the other day, the other day,
I saw
Brent had on an outfit.
Oh my God!
And I think when he put it on, I looked and I had the phone. I just turned it over. I said, "Look at this here."
No. He, you know what he said? You said it because you know it looked pretty tight for like if I wanted to put that on because I really want it. It has pockets.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Nobody else liked it.
I was like,
did you see it?
It just caught me off guard. You gotta warn us.
Nah,
I was just like,
and you know what? I'm not shocked anymore.
And it's the name. The name don't match up with who he is.
Right,
I gotta process the name with who. I'm just like, wait.
You're looking for Harriet. She's not there. Yeah,
it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on.
I'm gonna tell you what was funny. I wasn't bothered by none of it. I looked at it, I said, look. I said, Brent be doing it. That's all I said. I said, Brent be doing it.
Only Brent.
I said, listen, if y'all saw me in that, y'all be like, oh my God, Kevin need prayer. Kevin is messed up. Yo, Kevin is gone.
Oh
but when Brent do it, it'd be like, I do just like this. Oh, that's what he got on the day. Okay.
It was so symmetric. It was just ooh.
So the truth is, I have a lot of friends that make a lot of clothes, and they just want me to kind of promote their line or whatever. Because for some strange reason, a lot of people follow Harriet Winslow. I don't know why, but it is what it is. And so if you put me in your brand, and unfortunately, it will get a lot of attention, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
Unfortunately.
Well, yeah, because it's a lot to live up to. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people want you to always be on, and that's I've had moments.
Impossible.
Speaking of on, can I ask you another question? Have we talked about this?
Yeah. Go ahead.
When not obviously no time recently, but I've had men. I think maybe we talked about this, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Men who I know clearly was gay.
Mm-hmm. And they want to sleep with you?
They want to talk to me, want to be.
Well, Tanya, you have the power.
No, hold on. We ain't never talked about this. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, maybe we did. Maybe we did.
Well, Tanya, you have the power to change.
We ain't talked about it before this live. We ain't never talked about that. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have the compliment. Power of what?
You said what?
That's a compliment. Ass is ass, and every man like a piece of ass.
Oh, God. We're not going off yet.
You see what I'm saying? So
maybe I should ask this in the post.
Thank God you did not oblige. However,
now you sound like Eddie Murphy in Vampire in Brooklyn. Evil is good.
I'm telling you. You see what I'm saying? It's just Every
I
black man
didn't
like a
get
big
that though.
butt. I mean, and then just because you are same gender loving does not mean that you won't still find the opposite sex attractive. That's the
Okay.
thing. I be
Okay.
telling people, don't let this gay stuff fool you. There's a nigga in here. For real, for real. This stuff y'all see is just an act. This is what draws the people. But on the inside, there's a whole rusty old man. So, I mean, Tanya, congratulations. But see, you got with a real nigga from Patterson, and now we ain't got to worry about all that.
Well, you're right. Okay, well, there we go. Thank you. Next, like you said, thank you. Next, I didn't understand it honestly.
No, I want to stay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't.
I mean, whatever you ask, I'm gonna answer.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
All
I didn't
right.
understand.
I think it's just funny to me how that stuff happens, and that's all I'm saying. Tracy, I say again, you throw bits and pieces, but you don't always give the full plate. Now I done sat back and watched you. You ain't said nothing.
You got to pay attention to her face, Kevin.
I'll be looking at her face. Tracy be looking like, That's all she be saying.
Tracy know where the bones at.
Yeah. Just when you thought I didn't know nothing, I know everything.
Surprise, surprise.
Last week was priceless.
I just go off of that. All right, so we talked about that. I think we're coming to a close. But I did have some other stuff here. But
There's something on here about 4th of July sides and politics.
Oh yeah,
the
which one's
Tesla.
Yeah, the Tesla thing. Do y'all like these cars?
I like the Model Y. Every time I get a chance to rent one, I do. I like that. But this new Cybertruck is ugly.
That thing looked like RoboCop from 1985, bro.
For real. And everybody wants them.
Johnny 5 from Short Circuit became a truck.
Right. R2D2.
R2
like a gun is getting ready to spin around like
it looked like a refrigerator sideways.
Right.
It looked like a frigidaire.
But it's crazy. I saw an Instagram post today and one was red. And I was like, it's still ugly. But I'm like, red ain't too bad. It don't look too bad in that one. But it's still ugly.
It's just the make of it. The model is just it's horrible.
Give me the Model Y. The Model X is not. I mean, I like it.
No,
with
the X is not
gold wing doors, but it's not practical. My uncle had one.
So in your garage, you can't open them doors. You're gonna mess them up.
Yeah, nah. And uncle had it out in Columbus, and he was like, it was great the first 3 months that I had it, and then it snowed. And every time you open the doors, the snow just coming on you. He was like, "Yep, got rid of that real quick." So he went from the X to the Y.
Right. That makes sense.
I just can't see myself pulling over to have to charge my car.
No.
At any point versus stopping for 5 minutes and filling up with gas.
Justin, but let me tell you something. I've seen it for myself. The price of that charge is so much less than that.
So much cheaper than gas.
Well, my wife.
But the time.
My wife has a Prius, and it's a plug-in and a hybrid. So
right.
But the thing is since we only get 12 miles when it's charged, there's a way to drive it where.
Yeah.
Use the hybrid and there's a way to do it, but my wife is just like, I just want to get in the car and go. So she ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's practical when it comes to that because you sit there for 30 minutes. You sit there for 30 minutes and you get a full charge, but it'd be like $4. It'd be like $7. It is
right. Bro. And that's that's what I like about it. I usually when I get them, if I know I got to drive a lot, like I'll make sure there's a supercharger. Of course, you can't put them on a supercharger, but so many times in a month.
Oh, really?
But again, because you can kill the battery, and those batteries like $10,000.
Yes, sir.
So even when you put it on the supercharger, if the battery itself will register that it's been on the supercharger too much, and it will slow down how much charge it takes. So it'll slow down to a regular charge. But you also get a 10-year warranty on them. So that's why people, when they think about it, like the average person doesn't keep a car 10 years nowadays. So when you think about it, it really does pay for itself, and all the rebates that you get tax wise.
In some cases.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I mean, unless it's a real
car 10 years, I'm like,
unless
Yeah.
there's two reasons why you keep a car
Wow.
more than 10 years. One, if it's a car that you know they don't make anymore and you want to preserve it.
right.
Like I'm mad that I had to
Right.
get rid of my last Continental, but the head gaskets
Right.
went on it. And the car, they stopped making it in 2020. My car was 3 years old, had 40,000
Right.
miles on it. And I was mad that
Right.
I had to get rid of it, but I was like, whatever.
Right.
Or you could be a person like my mother who has a car that she bought in 2018 and the car still doesn't have 20,000 miles on it because she doesn't go that
What?
far. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
She's a blessing.
That's
She's
crazy.
a blessing. She's blessed.
Listen,
But
right
I
now, if she
think-
took
I
that car
think
and traded
now-
it in, she would get book value plus.
Right.
Mm.
I think we're like you said, just just looking from a technology standpoint, seeing where everything is, and we were talking about politics on here earlier. I'm making this all a short version, but Donald Trump wanted us to go
That's my
electric.
only issue
He's
with it.
like everything
That's the
electric.
only issue I have with
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yep.
it's like go electric, go electric, go electric. But Kim Jong-un in Korea said, I will send an EMP over there and shut your whole country
And
down.
shut
because
everything
y'all
down.
want to all be electric. So if they shut all the electricity down, our defenses
What you gonna
are
do?
done.
Done.
We can't do anything about it. There's nothing we can do. We'll be sitting ducks. So
Although we do have
I'm
nuclear
hoping
power,
that
which overrides that.
we do, which overrides that. But at the same time, perfect point, Scott. We have nuclear power. But I have a question. How many people gonna die because of that?
Right.
That part.
Right.
How many people gonna lose their life because we go, oh, hit the red switch, we'll be all right. It's millions of people gonna be up in smoke
Yep.
because we got nuclear power. You know what I'm saying? So it's just always some pros and cons, more cons than pros when it comes to stuff that we
For
deal
sure.
with. But it's
But
crazy.
at the same time, even with the gas thing, I mean, think about what happened with, we talked about 9/11 before. Think about what happened with that once the war on terror started. Like Iran and
Absolutely.
Afghanistan, they shut down our oil.
They sure
thankfully,
did. They
President
pulled out.
President Obama was like, okay, open up the pipeline here. We got it. We know we're trying to save it, but
Right.
what we saving it for? Open it and use it.
And leave them other countries alone. That's not our
Right.
business.
We got our
Leave them
own.
alone.
We got our own stuff.
That's right.
This we talked. My sister
That's our problem.
came
We
here.
police the world.
Yeah,
That's
mind
right.
your
You're right.
business.
You're
Mind your business. My sister was here last night, and we were outside for about 2 hours. And she was talking. She said, "You know what?" She said, "Well, you know what I'm sick of." She said, "I'm sick of us making excuses to not take care of what's going on right here."
Yep.
She said Philadelphia is like one of the worst places to live ever right now. Like it is so bad. They are arresting homeless people now.
They
Yeah.
are.
If they see a homeless person on the street, they have a right to
Right
arrest them
on
if they're
Market
laying
and
by
Broad.
That's right here.
Yep.
They literally can arrest a man for laying down on a bench by the SEPTA station. They can arrest him.
Right by, and they can do it over by University of Arts too.
Yeah, I'm not far from none of that. And they
University of
told
Arts,
me
I've
all
watched
of this
them
when I
do
was
it.
sitting there, and I was like, I said,
Are y'all at the
where's he
Performing
gonna
Arts
go?
Center
I tell
this
you
week?
what. No, we at the Dell Center,
Ooh, okay.
which
Is it
is the
outside?
big amphitheater. It is
Yeah, it's a
outside.
big amphitheater. Yeah.
I hope it don't rain. I hope it
But
don't. Jesus.
they said that they were trying to get this man to get up. He was over there near CVS or something like that. And one guy walked past and said, "Well, you're not homeless no more. If they taking you to jail, you got somewhere to lay, you got somewhere to eat. Congratulations." And I mean, he had to look at it that way because before he got in there, he didn't have nowhere to go. So, but yeah, on another note, real quick, I am amazed. Justin, you understand this probably more than anybody. Stage we on this week, I put a post up about it on Instagram. I cannot believe it. Almost 30 years ago, that's the same stage where I did my first concert with the Hawkins and Walter Hawkins and all that. I had no idea. It's the same arena we playing this week.
Wow.
I
Full
had
circle.
no idea. I said those exact words. I said I was up here 30 years ago thinking doing something I didn't think I would ever do. And 30 years later, I'm on the same stage again doing something I never thought I would do. So, to be here doing that, and I put it up there. I said, if you live a humble life, you'll get great rewards. And, I tell people all the time, I don't project that arrogant persona, because the reality of it is I know what hard times are like. I know what it's like to not have. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to look up and try to make sure all things are taken care of, and you got to sacrifice some stuff. And that's why I'll go back to the point I made. When somebody tries to come at me and say, well, you should be this and I should have this and I should have that. Listen, you got to miss me with that kind of talk, because humble people can be the worst people that you mess with. I want people to understand that. People who are humble are dangerous people. Dangerous people. They're dangerous people. And just like Tracy's dangerous because Tracy don't say nothing. But Tracy sits there and watches everybody, and she listens to everybody. Tracy could say something that'll make your grandmother in her grave get up and go, now what the hell is wrong with that girl? Because she just know how to say stuff. You could tell. And I don't know Tracy like that. We ain't never sat on the phone and talked for hours. We ain't never been like that ever. We ain't never done that. But since she been on this show, I've been peeping you out, little lady. You something else. I ain't pissing you off.
Something
not after you
else.
Told, not after you told Brent his social security number last week. I ain't messing with you.
I mean,
Read Brent like a cat in the hat book.
you hear
She
me?
gave back, and he was like this.
Tanya, how'd you know you was asleep?
No,
Oh
I
God.
was up for that part. Hush.
She was up for
Oh,
that.
you was up for that. Okay.
That's what he did. He was like,
I was still
Everybody
on
get off
part.
of Tanya.
That's why I said I gotta go.
Now,
That's why I
I
love
done
you.
let this slide a few times, but you're gonna get off with Big Booty Judy, okay? Thanks.
Lord have mercy.
Let's govern ourselves
He's
accordingly.
He's the only one that could call her that. If I heard another nigga say that.
Well, you know,
Yeah, they
I
died.
have a different testimony, so.
And I got video, so he already knows that too. So it's a lot. It's a lot of things to unpack here. I love you, Brent.
I love you too.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
Scott, all of us, we are here tonight. I don't know what happened to Avery. Hopefully
Yeah,
he'll
his
come
internet
on.
has been going in and out.
Terrence is with Bible Way this week. Hooray. Hope you make it home, brother.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We thank everybody tonight. This was a good show. That first 15 minutes. If you don't know the Lord after that first 15 minutes, I don't know.
That was a shift, man. For real.
Brent was in revival. I don't know what's going on.
Brent and the Lord sat down and played dominoes. Something went on before he got on here.
My son, this is what I want you to say.
Right. Speak this word.
So, Kevin, let me ask you this. Being that you have to play for 4th of July, like, are y'all going to have, like, downtime where y'all get to actually celebrate and enjoy the holiday, or?
To be honest with you, I really don't think it's going to be too much of that. And to be honest with you, they did tell us that this area probably ain't really a good spot to do that in anyway. Because there's so much going on down here. And we ain't scared of nothing, but we're not stupid. We're not going to put ourselves in a situation where we
don't be. Yeah.
So we're probably just we got police escorts everywhere tomorrow.
Okay.
As you should.
So we just gonna go and do the show. We're gonna come on back. If we do anything, we just probably gonna go down in the lobby area where they are. There was a big wedding party. The wedding party had 100 people.
What?
In the wedding party, there was 100.
That's ridiculous.
50 groomsmen, 50 bridesmaids.
You lying
to African.
They were white.
They won't be married in 50 days.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you said they were Caucasian?
Yeah.
Oh, they were all cousins.
Probably.
So, but yeah, but they'll probably be here tomorrow. The wedding was today. They're not leaving officially till Saturday, so they'll probably be here hanging out. So if we do anything, we might go down there and say what's up. But we're just gonna play it safe tomorrow, and I'll be in here most of the day, pretty much recuperating from what's about to be said after we get off of here, because some people got some stuff going on.
I have a question. I saw where Frankie Beverly was recently honored at BET Awards or something like that, or maybe it could have been something old. But his voice, did he have a stroke or something? What happened
He's
to his
had
voice?
he's had 4 surgeries on his voice. He
Oh,
has had 4 surgeries.
okay.
And they wanted to do one more, and he told them he's not doing it. He's just going to leave his voice that way. Now he was much better a couple of years ago. You know, this is his last show. Saturday is his last show officially.
Oh, really?
But really, at this point, Frankie is just singing now because he can. But he really doesn't have to, because every time that man walks on that stage, the audience pretty much sings everything anyway.
That's the truth.
You know,
I know I
he
did.
doesn't. Yeah, it's see. There's not pretty much. There's no reason for him to sing anything. He was singing today, and I heard him, and I said he's tired. But watch tomorrow night and see. This is his home. He's originally from here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is home for him. So there's an energy probably gonna come up tomorrow that we ain't never seen.
So let me ask you
but,
this, Kevin.
Mhm.
Being that Saturday is the last show with Frankie Beverly featuring Maze, if you could tell us, what is the greatest lesson that you've learned from him?
Good. Come on, interviewer. An interviewee.
It's
You
a
know,
couple of them,
I'm
and
bi.
I'll speak of I speak of 3 of them. Number one, what I learned was, don't care what nobody else says. You keep doing what you're doing. Don't care. At this point in your life, you should be at a level where you just don't give a damn what people say about you. You just don't. You just don't. The second thing that I learned was, learn how to accept what you do. And you're not just great at what you do, but accept all of your success with humility and grace.
So you're saying he's a very humble man?
Oh God, he is. Oh God, he is. God, and I think that's why it's going the way it's going for him, because he's done that for so many years. He's just sitting back and watching it all unfold now, you know. And
I've
then the
never
third
heard
thing
anything about him other than the music. That's why I'm.
yeah, and you know what? All these years, Frankie Beverly has never been married.
Never.
Do he got kids?
Wow.
He
has
does. He has
one son. He has a
Leo.
son. That's it.
Wow.
He has a son. He has never been married. And what's great about him is that you can here it is. This is the last answer to that question. You can always tell what kind of life you live based on how many people want to help you.
My.
When you see how many people want to help you, that tells you what kind of life you live. And everybody around him want to help him. Even when it comes to walking, when it comes to talking, when it comes to giving him pointers. It went viral. I didn't know, but there's that one video where I'm holding him so he doesn't fall over that speaker to that lady that's trying to shake his hand. And I held it, and you have people on there just up and down those comments going, look at how this man is holding on to him. They care about this man. Kirk Franklin said it. I don't want to mention any names, but Kirk Franklin said, gospel music does not care about the artist. They just care about the music. If something happens to you, you better go to God and get it for yourself, because we are not praying for you. We're not going to give you anything. We're not going to pay money. We don't care what you're going through. Whereas in the Army world, they care about Frankie. They don't just care about what he wrote. They care about who he is. You know how you can tell? Because everybody in the damn arena is wearing white. Every time we get on that, everybody's wearing white.
I've never owned
Everybody.
So much white. I've never owned so much white in my life, guys.
I look good in it, and I didn't know. I had to tell Frankie, thank you. I didn't realize I look good in white.
Same, me too.
I didn't know. I'm aware it now. You know, because when I was with Bell Biv DeVoe New Edition, I dressed like they did.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
What'd you say?
Let him have. I said, Tanya, let him have his moment.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Shut up, boy.
You know he gonna steal it anyway. My bad.
But I am. But when I was with BBD and all of them, I dressed like them. When I was with Jodeci, I dressed like them. When I was with Tony, I dressed like them. You know, But Justin, I want you to hear this. Now that I've gotten to this place and I'm wearing the white or whatever, I want to be real with everybody, and I'm gonna say it the best way I can say it. My number is not going to be used as much for pennies like it was before.
Hello, somebody. Price is going
We're
up.
not doing that no more. Yesterday's prices are not today's.
Ever again.
And I wouldn't ever, Scott, come on, brother. Ever again. You will never. The Stella Awards are coming to Las Vegas, and I hope everybody's watching. Don't y'all niggas call me for nothing unless you got 1,500 or higher. Don't call me.
And that's just for sound check.
And that's just for, and don't talk about rehearsal because that's an extra $800. Don't call me.
That's the whole
I ain't
Pay what
coming.
you weigh.
For the
I
weekend.
ain't coming. And I explained that I'm not even going nowhere near there. They're going to be right in Vegas. I'm not going near there. For what? I
In the
go
words of
and
a friend of
chill
mine
out in
earlier
Vegas and have
today,
a good time.
book with your budget.
And if your budget don't meet what I'm charging, take your book and go somewhere else.
And if you have an ankle bracelet, you and the wife, and y'all can't do it, just
that part.
Walk away.
This ankle bracelet has got a
blown away. I can't wait to get off this live so I can tell y'all what's really going on.
Listen, I
Well,
got.
Kevin,
But, all right.
I got one for y'all.
I think I may be coming, but I'll hit you up and I'll text you about that.
Well, if you come here, then we gonna go and we just. Well, wait a minute. I don't know if we even gonna be. Or we'll be in town, but we won't be there the whole week.
I'm still working out the logistics, but I'll let you know.
Okay, well, you do that. But I'm at a point now where I'm sorry. I tell people all the time, Frankie Beverly messed it up for all of y'all. I just want y'all to know he ruined it. If I never thought I was valuable,
he opened your eyes and showed you your value.
Yeah, he did. He did. And I'm sorry, but I'm tired of being so nice and humble to a point where everybody think they got a shot.
Yep.
We're not doing that no more. We're not
I
doing
have
it.
a question. One more question. What
Yes,
y'all
sir.
think about Lauryn Hill singing at this funeral the other day that
Let's
Terrence
talk about-
Kitchens was in? I wanted him to be on tonight because I wanted to ask him.
Yeah.
She was he
late.
in it?
He was there.
He played for
He was there.
It was Avery's
What?
it was Avery's cousin.
His cousin's funeral, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, go back. I'm missing something. Say it one more time.
Lauryn Hill
Avery's
sang at the
cousin's
funeral,
funeral was today. Lauryn Hill sang at the funeral.
Okay, okay, got it. Okay, I'm gonna shut up because I don't know what I'm. Okay.
No. You don't have to shut up. What happened is Terrence. And the only reason I know that he was there is because she took a picture with him, or he took a picture with her.
Right.
I think he took a picture of her while she was singing.
No, there's a picture of him, her, and somebody else, and they tagged him in it. And I was like, "Oh, that's Terrence. I know him."
And so she was on time and stuff, huh? Okay.
She can go to what she wants to go to.
But
But I was trying to figure out how they were
late.
related, because she kept bringing up her son and was saying that they brought them together or something like that. So does the son have like a child from this man's?
It may be because Lauren is from Newark too. So,
right, I know Lauren. She's from East Orange.
Yeah, right. She's from East Orange actually. So she's I think there's some kind of relation somewhere. I think there's some that side of the family. They know. Said, who is this cousin? Who is
Oh,
this?
the cousin.
What is this?
Okay. Somebody said cousin.
Yeah, Leo.
But I guess it's just they got some kind of coalition going on.
She doesn't look well to me. She got up there with all these crippling beads in her hair, and like this, I don't know. The voice wasn't voicing.
Yo, did y'all see on the award show when she had that one braid that didn't quite make it?
Oh, I was like, tuck it in. Tuck it in.
She had this one braid that was like, this one braid was dancing by itself.
I think Whitney said it best. Crack kills.
Oh. It was doing the Coolio.
Oh
no,
crack is wet.
When she
it wasn't even like Coolio. It looked like Coolio's was orderly compared to what that thing was.
And that's horrible.
She did say before she got started singing, she said, "I'm on time, y'all."
I'm on time. That's what she said. She sure did.
Well,
Well, look, y'all. We've been on here 3 hours. We done. It is 12 midnight East Coast time, 9 o'clock
It
Pacific
is.
Standard Time.
I gotta get
It
up
is. Yeah, I do too. My sound check is at 11 tomorrow.
That's
So
not Wednesday.
we thank everybody for being here tonight. Terrence gets a pass. We understand what he was doing, but that doggone Steve Hackley, I think we're gonna say goodbye to Steve because
No, he said
Steve
he
got a
gonna come
lot
back
going on.
next month
He's moving a lot of organs
with the small
um,
shovel.
with a
Well, if
small
his
shovel.
pull-out game was better, he wouldn't have to work all these jobs to support these children. And you can tell him I said it.
No, Facebook will tell him you said it.
Literally.
You know I don't give a damn about ham.
And what was
Justin,
Avery at?
what is this doll, Justin?
I don't know. I think my lefty left it over here. He's the new Steven, though.
Oh,
He's
I
in-
love him.
okay,
Hey,
all right.
Steven. He doesn't say anything. Okay, they were about the same.
Neither
Same
does
size.
Steven when he
You
on
like
here.
Tracy? Him and Tracy hang out together. Watch when it's over with. Him and Tracy gonna
That
be in that
Tracy is
screen
a
together.
secret
Watch.
weapon. That Tracy that Tracy is a different girl.
Hey,
Whole
let me
perception
tell
is
it. Let me tell the audience. When we go off of here, we stay on, y'all. Y'all can't see.
That's
Tracy
the
be like,
real show.
and then Tracy be like, "Let me tell y'all something." I'd be like,
Tracy be like, "This is off the record. Y'all can't tell nobody I said it because they don't know I said it. So I'm gonna say it, and y'all can't say nothing about it." But
"She right."
she leaves everybody's mouths open though.
I good.
Tracy
she-
got
Brent
a
was
different
like
kind of
this.
anointing.
Brent was like this.
Yeah, Brent was like,
I got the picture.
"Did you take a screenshot?"
I sure did.
That Tracy
Yeah.
has been set apart. You hear me?
Y'all became besties, okay?
Yes,
I
we did.
mean,
Um,
she is my
We're
big
gonna-
sister
we're-
in my head.
we're gonna get off of here, but there was a picture that was put up in our and somebody said, and I'm gonna say it.
No.
It was said she was on my flight coming home, and somebody said, "That's dope. She just needed a hairbrush."
And probably a water pill.
No, she didn't need a water pill because it was looking malnourished.
You know, them ankles a little heavy.
He talking about something totally different.
Oh, okay, because I'm like, what is he talking about?
Them
Yeah,
ankles a little heavy, but I feel like if they was throwed up more, you know, that blood circulation would be a little better.
All right.
Do you know
Look at
what we're
Brent.
talking
Look
about? Brent, look.
at Brent. Look, Brent. Look.
When I tell you I was in distress,
That was
the black version of Macaulay Culkin at Home Alone.
the
Right.
song by Milton Brunson said, "So heavy laden and
Oh.
burdened down."
And burn it
And
down.
burn it down.
I did not know just
I did not know
to
just
do.
what to do.
Just what to do.
So I went and I prayed for strength.
For strength to
to
endure.
endure.
To endure. That is hilarious. Because Brent, you was trying to keep it on the low. And she said 10 o'clock at 11, 10 o'clock on 11th Street. You was
She
like,
said, "We're gonna talk about this today." Oh, we're gonna talk
was
about
trying to
this
keep
today.
She
yeah,
got
you
it.
was trying to keep it low. She was like, I'm about to expose you.
Oh, you want to be
Let me
Brent?
tell you something.
Well, let me tell you what kind of Brent you really are.
You talking about word come alive.
All right, we get ready to go. We get ready to go, but because we got more to talk about. But we get ready to get out of here. Thank y'all for being here tonight. We didn't play the game tonight. We definitely gonna play the game next week. So hopefully we'll get more people.
Oh, there was a game tonight?
We didn't play it. No, we didn't play the game tonight. Ain't nobody win no money tonight. Somebody won $100 last week. So we didn't play the game tonight. But we'll definitely play it next week. All right, we get ready to go. I normally have Brent say something.
Oh, not tonight.
But I'm gonna see if Tracy will say something tonight.
Lord.
Wait, let me get to wait. All right.
It's the Tiny Lucas
I
hum.
I don't have a lot other
Tiny
than
Lucas.
just let's just be careful, prayerful, That's all.
I like that.
Careful,
That's
prayerful,
pretty.
and humble.
That's
That's
it.
pretty
Careful,
cool.
prayerful, humble.
That's
If you get
pretty
invited
cool.
to BET, keep your clothes on.
And if you go to a church that has the pastor and wife has ankle bracelets,
Yeah.
And if it's just head, it ain't cheating.
Yep.
well, yes, it is. Okay, we Rick couldn't help himself. He had to help his bestie out.
And if there's an order, somebody should have told her.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
All right.
Oh goodness.
drink your water.
And
Mind
just
your own
because you stick
business.
your pole in some tuna don't make you a fisherman.
Oh, gotta go. Y'all have a good night. Good
All right.
night. Good night. Good night.